Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to a very delayed WOR Legacy Division. We are finally here for round number 8 of the championship. It is the Chinese Grand Prix. It is sprint qualifying. We're going to get straight into it. Before we do, my name is James Head. Jota, of course, alongside me in the commentary box. And Jota, looking at the race results very quickly from last week, Joe Murphy took the win, Oscar in second, Sergio in third, and BRT still topping the standings coming into tonight by a much better advantage, 51 points.
Yeah, they've got that little healthy margin, evening folks. It should be an absolute blinder, and it should be by blinder. I'm talking about the smoke screens. Of course, we have got a little bit of an issue with the drivers out there tonight. With there potentially maybe some issues in relation to not being able to see a damn thing as they go around the circuit. So I'm expecting what will look like a bomb going around here in the Shanghai International Circuit on the central coast of China. But Bug Racing team happy with that one, 291 over 240 then at this point now. And Joe Murphy obviously taking the race victory last time out in Australia. Justin managing to get actually a solid 8th place considering where he qualified. It's not a bad effort, that. But critically, though, people around the board missed out, including, once again, the team that was leading the championship at one point, as we are looking like we're getting straight into one-shot qualifying.
Literally straight into one-shot qualifying. We're on board with the GT10 man of Gavroche in toward the right-hander of turn number 1, and I could already tell this is going to be a fun evening with a bit of a lock-up there through turn 1 and 2 with Gavroche. Now from the left-hander of turn number 3 to the left-hander of turn number 4. Expect the GT10 man to be toward the bottom end of the field. We should expect some of the Xbox guys to be up there, and that's who I'm going to try and ride on board with very, very soon. Indeed, we will ride on board with... As you've got something going on, I'll go on board with Zach for now. The left-hander turns up.
Yeah, no, I'm just keeping an eye out on the lockups at the moment as well. And it's only one person on circuit, and the absolute cloud of smoke as they lock up through the corner. At the moment, though, advantage FRT, but TTM have come straight back at it. They were a fabulous second sector from Mustache at the moment. TTM looking to try and bounce back after a run of really bad races at the moment, looking like he might be able to get to the top 3 or a bad set of corners, though, and brings Renz Thomason straight into the mix. But Tech right back on top and battling hard with the Aston Martin. It's ETA, it's TTM, and it's almost certainly going to be BRT, but FRT in there with Zach.
Yeah, and Tech's actually lost a bit of ground actually coming through the hairpin, and that's going to cost him time all the way down the straight. Looks like he's got straight line speed heavy, though, on the car. That means Zach now pulls away. Tech now into second. Renz Thomason there in third. What is it going to be, though, down into the hairpin? Not bad, I've got to say, in terms of the hairpin. Just imagine 20 cars going down there, though, with 50 metres worth of braking completely and utterly skewered. There's an invalidation, I think, on Zach through the final corner. It's Renz Thomason who takes the top. Tech there in second, about a half a tenth off him in the end, but it's Renz Thomason that top possession. You caught on board with Zach, he invalidated the final corner.
Yeah, he ended up mounting the sausage curve on the inside of the final corner. It spat him out wide. He invalidates. He's a driver who should be heading towards pole position. Unfortunately for him, he's starting all the way down at the back in P19.
Indeed he does, but it is Renz Thomason for ETA out on top from Tech in second. Owen there, of course, in third. Mustache in fourth. Bell Ruffix there in fifth. Goes King in sixth. Then there's Gakowski, Fraser, Volokung and Rayen. Venom, Belbelby, Justin, Gian, and then Brando ran off the top 15. Nassim Gavroche, Tony Reish, then Zach, who's disqualified, of course, and Sky is also invalidated on his runs. But Renz Thomason out on top. Tech alongside him on the front row of the grid, 600th of a second out on track. This should be a very interesting night, I've got to say, coming into tonight's worth of action. And hopefully we get to see really good racing, I've got to say, out on track as well. I'm confused a little bit, Jota. Do we get a straight-up restart right at the start of sprint qualifying, and then we get a new lobby, or do we just go straight into sprint?
I think we're straight into sprint. We take the break, and then we go straight into the qualifying and then the race event. So it's the 10-lap sprint, I believe, we're now going to head straight into, because, of course, there's no point having no ghosting on, because no one is versing each other during qualifying. So I expect that we'll be getting straight into it here. We've got a set of medium tyres on for everyone, of course. That should go to the end of this race. But plenty of people just fiddling around, seeing if they could possibly sneak a soft in. I doubt it on this track. Zach, though, really disappointing for FRT because they're looking like to be towards the front here. Tech in second for Renz Thomason, and then Owen, a really good performance. ET8 once again, showing that they are trying to fight their way towards the top, but never ever discredit CPI. The third place team, 7th and 8th, hogging the 4th row of the grid. We're happy to swallow up any positions that ends up sort of being lost by those teams. Bolero Fox doing a good job as well on his return to racing as well. Nice to see Bolero Fox as well. I think the last time I saw him was back in the TSRL Tier 6 days, actually, so it's nice to see that name. Gatkowski, as Fraser, as I said, 7th and 8th, but critically, TTM are in the mix, 4th and 6th. They needed that performance. They need to get a little bit of the motions rolling. They've lost a driver, I think, earlier on this week, so they just want to try and find that momentum, get themselves back into it here, because they're down in 6th overall in the championship. They were championship leaders at one point.
They were championship leaders at one point, thanks to their 1-2, I think, in Monaco, if I'm not mistaken. Flopman absolutely dominating, of course, that day. Whether or not, though, we get to see TTM towards the top end of the field here in the sprint remains to be seen. I believe it's 10 laps for the sprint, 29 laps, I believe, for the feature race that we will get. Of course, we go straight in. Speaking of straight in, 5 red lights about to go out here for the sprint, and it is... Long pause, lights down, away we go, and Rens Thomason gets a very good start. Tech gets a good start as well, and there's a cloud of smoke right off the start. Tech is going to get the move done down in towards turn 1 potentially, all on a set of medium compound tyres it looks. Rens Thomason tries to go all the way around the outside on Tech, holds it to the inside line now for the left-hand return number 3. Owen right in there as well. Great start by the both ETA boys at the beginning to pull away from Belwoff's Mustache and behind. Rens Thomason and Tech though still side by side, still hung, drawn and quartered in toward the end of the first sector. This is the first major worry. Look at the smoke coming in toward the right-hander. There's a big Constantino effect in behind Belby, I think, nearly gone sideways. Techno leads the way. Rens Thomason in second. Owen there in third. Belwoffix tries to hang it to the inside there with Mustache, who gets the move done up to fourth. But advantage GTA, I would say, early on.
Yeah, really good result that from Tech, actually. Good start, just hogging it up the inside, forced Rens into the mistake, going through into the corner, which has allowed him to get that move done on the inside line. I must admit, doesn't look too bad, the smoking just yet. It's definitely not as opaque as last time, but not too aggressive on this occasion. Valera Fox trying to close down the points on FRT, who desperately need the points as well in 9th place, trying to close down on Novus, previous Novus team's championship, of course. Gatkowski in 6th. Ghost King managing to get the jump, though. Gatkowski getting the jump on Ghost King, rather, is trying to get that 6th place back.
Yeah, Rens Thomason looking on the back down and toward the hairpin. It actually doesn't look too bad, to be honest, down into the hairpin. I thought it was going to look a lot worse compared to what had happened last night in Canada, that's for sure. Tech the well on top, Rens Thomason in second, Owen in third at the end of lap 1, Mustache in fourth, Belwoffix, Gatkowski, Ghost King, Fraser, Volokungen and Brando. There is a pitter in the background. Rayen has been caught up in an incident, and both GT10 boys caught up in an incident as Gatkowski flies it to the inside line. The CPI man now ahead of Belwoffix. Belwoffix dropping down a couple of positions off his start. Ghost King running behind along with Fraser as well. The Tech hasn't been that good start. Looking to try and get the Techers on the rest of the field right now. But when you've got somebody like Rens Thomason on the case running behind you, you'd be very concerned.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on Gatkowski at the moment. A few mistakes in that first sector, not able to get the power down as quickly as other people, had to compensate using overtake. It is actually down to less than 20% ERS at the moment, is the CPI McLaren. So they're keeping Mustache for company though at the moment, but Mustache plenty of ERS at his disposal to close up on the front 3. At the moment though, ETA definitely the team that had the advantage and actually putting Tech under pressure. They're going to go for the move on this occasion, which doesn't look like it. Rens Thomason into none on the ERS usage. He's going to no doubt hit it into hot lap as he goes down the main straight, and I'm expecting an overtake.
Yeah, and I'm expecting an overtake as well. There definitely will be one, because Tech is completely sideways there for a brief moment, coming through the hairpin at turn number 12, now running through turn 13, on the run now down into the hairpin at 14. Rens Thomason all over like a hot rash to the inside line, now down the straight. Could be an ETA 1-2. We've seen this so many times before in league racing and in EML, which I commentate on a Wednesday. Rens and Owen take the race lead, surely for ETA. It should be a 1-2 coming out of the corner. Tech will try and hang on in there, but that is mastery once again from ETA. Rens Thomason out on top. Owen there in second, Tech there in third. At least Owen, unlike his EML race, not going to get. There's a lot of smoke down the straight in towards turn number 1. Madness out on track. Rens though leads, Owen in second, Tech in third. Really good start to this race.
Yeah, I think what that was just dust. That was just dust being picked up off the racing line, over the white line, and they were just going down to the inside line just to indicate to Tech, Owen, just saying, I'm keeping that inside line, you can't go down there. And I don't know what they've done as regards of the QAing over at Codemasters, but clearly, in this scenario, what they've done is they've taken the entire sort of smoke screen, if you will, timesed it by 10 and went, yeah, that's done. A little bit peculiar, to say the least, not entirely the nicest thing to look at, but not really hindering the racing so far, I have to say. Mustache, on the other hand, getting closer to Tech once again. Tech not able to find that traction as Renz is just starting to break, actually. May end up breaking DRS on his teammate. That may leave Owen exposed here. So I think ETA have got to think wise here and start working with each other. Try and box Tech in if he looks for an overtake.
Yeah, to be honest, I think Tech is looking rather weak right now out on track. He's 0.3 of a second behind Owen. Mustache is 3.5 tenths behind him. Tech is very good down the straight, but it looks like BRT, and I said in one-shot qualifying there, it looks like they've actually prioritised straight line speed rather than the cornering, and that might be to their benefit, but look at that, into the hairpin. At least, unlike turn 11 at Canada, you can actually see the car ahead of you going into the hairpin at turn 14 at China. Tech right on the back of Owen, but again, makes that really bad mistake. Coming to the left-hander of turn number 14, and again, that dust being kicked up on the right-hander there, coming in towards the right-hander turn number 1. Renz leads the way in the sprint, Owen in second, Tech there in third. All that dust being kicked up, not smoke, dust being kicked up. You would think, honestly, we're in like Bahrain or Qatar or somewhere like that. Unlike China, Renz though leading the way, Owen in second, Tech there in third. Everyone, by the way, on a set of medium compound tires. Rayenu pitted on a set of softs along with Skies, and Gavroche also on a fresh set of medium compound tires at the front end of the field. But right now, control for ET8.
Yeah, quite indeed as well. And just keeping an eye out towards the midfield as well. Sky's getting the fastest lap of the race for the Grand Track 10 team. Keeping a firm eye at the moment on the likes of Zach, of course, looking like he was going to qualify really well until he made that mistake at the final corner. He's up 5 positions, matching Tony, who's also up 5 positions. Brando also up 5 positions as well, from 15th to 10th. So plenty of movers in the midfield, but towards the front at the moment, top 5. Owen and Tech changing positions. Gatkowski up 2 as Bolero Fox is trying to keep within touching distance of Gatkowski and FRT getting the scrap of points in this sprint race through him at the moment, as Zach tries his hardest to try and get into the top 8. But it's going to be a hard ask, that one, with 6 laps to go in this 10-lap sprint.
Yeah, definitely so. Tech again on the back of Owen running down the straight. Looks like Ghost King's going to go for the move on Bell, though, to the outside line. Into the left-hander, or the right-hander, even in turn number 14. Bell, gets caught and very slight at the contact medal. Just coming in there to the benefit, really, the Williams rather than the Red Bull. Ghost King again tries it to the inside line of 16. Doesn't get the move done, and now is a little bit weak to Fraser and Volakongan in behind as well. The dust again being kicked up on the right-hand side. Tech goes for the move on Owen through turn number 1. Nothing really happening in the front foot on that battle, but Owen gets the move back done through the inside line, through towards turn number 1, gets the job done now through turn 3. Owen back ahead of Tech, but look at the gap now. Ghost King really struggling with Belvofix. That little bit of contact they had through 14, enough to bring them outside the DRS range.
Yeah, they need to get back in DRS sharpish, because they're also struggling on ERS as well. Ghost King, Bolero Fox, Fraser down below 10% as they went into turn 1. Of course, they managed to recover it all the way through the turn 1 through 4 complex, but unfortunately, they are going to find themselves in real trouble if they do not get into DRS, and Ghost King is using as much ERS as he possibly can to get within that second gap. He's now in it, and he's trying to get close to Gatkowski.
He is in it indeed, and he is looking to try and get within the back of Gatkowski. Beautiful helicopter cam actually running. Both the ball side by side on the back end. I spied Volakongan now side by side with Fraser. Beautiful move that is by the Alpine. Of course, the Alpine's dominating, I've got to say, within PSGL, PSF1 with Cameron Dowds and Tom Roberts at the helm. But Volakongan making the Alpines and Chazoo look like a winning combination right now as he goes for the move. Once again, Fraser going to come and cover back, though, on the outside line now, into the inside line. There goes Brando to the inside line, 3 wide as well, down into the right hand, turn number 14. Brando just about to make it to the apex first. Never going to work. They've got caught in each other, and that's going to forfeit a whole load of position for all of them. Fraser, Brando, Volakongan, these guys clearly know better than that. They just get caught in each other coming out of 14, and it forfeits positions to Venom and to Justin and to Tony Reish.
Yeah, Tony Reish now up 8 positions in this sprint race as well. Zach's still up 5, trying to get close to Volakongan in that 1 second gap as he can. Gatkowski, while this was all happening, makes the move on Mustache. That's TTM now 5-6 as Gatkowski and CPI trying to get onto the podium for this sprint now. Is Gatkowski going to get close enough for Tech on this occasion? No, he won't, not on this particular one, but the smoke is starting to get rather prominent. I'm not going to lie. We'll have to see. 4 laps to go. Might make for an interesting race. Don't think it's going to affect the sprint too much. Cloud starting to gain above us as well. May affect the track conditions ever so slightly towards the end of the sprint, especially as these tyres begin to wear out. 4 laps to go. Yeah,
compared to the start of the race, though, the sun is actually out on track, to be fair, so I don't think it's going to change that much, to be honest, in this sprint in terms of conditions. Ghost King on the back of Mustache trying to desperately get within that second. DRS detection point is here, so let's see if he's within that second. He is well within that second, actually, so he is within DRS range, as is Belwolfix and Venom, though, in behind, so it actually gives them a good opportunity to try and get back within this DRS train running down the straight. But Renz Thomason just trying to drag out the field at the minute, it seems. Owen in second, Tech third, Gatkowski fourth, Mustache there in fifth. Nothing really happening. We'll turn our attentions though to that Brandel Fraser battle that happened last lap around, and now goes for it again into the right-hand turn number 14. This time a much, much cleaner move, even though you can't really see the corner and the apex there from Fraser's perspective, but it is job done for him. He's done, he's into 11th position. Brando into Vulakongan there in 13th. Tony Reich now setting the sights on the back of BRT Justin. Tony Reich, of course, former PC driver, now of course on console once again, and he tries to go all the way around the outside through turn number 1, through the right hander now, turn number 2. I complete the move that Reich been around here before, but in the end, Tony Reich is not like me, doesn't go for the move.
Yeah, it just looked like he just was close enough to go for it, but the car understeered as he was going off the circuit and off camber, and he was not able to get that overtake done on Justin. Of course, this is a scrap for no points at the moment as well in the sprint race. Top 8 score points in real life F1, whether that's different or not in WOR, I'm not going to lie, I've completely forgotten, so I'll have to just double check on that one. Bolero Fox trying to get as close as he possibly can to the likes of Ghost King, unfortunately now out of DRS on the TTM guys as he starts to struggle.
Owen makes a bad mistake though, coming out through the left-hander of turn number 10. That double left-hander that really catches people out around this track. Nearly caught Owen out there. He was completely sideways, lost 2/10 of a second to Renz, and now puts Tech on the front foot, potentially for a DRS overtake down the straight into the right-hander at turn number 14. Here he comes then on the back of Owen. Is Owen going to go defensive, or has he just got the straight line speed himself? He's got the straight line speed himself, and they're going to block him in. Tech's not even going to be close enough to be blocked in, to be fair. And there, the Kick Sauber can't close in on the Aston Martins. Still in the 8-1-2 for now. Renz Thomason leading the way. Owen in second. Tech in third. Justin getting the move done on Tony Reich. Tony tries to get the undercut back. Coming out of the corner at 14. Now to the left-hander at turn 15 and 16. Justin picks up a 3-second penalty for running wide. Tech on the back of Owen down the straight and towards turn number 1. Also moves happening for Venom, Bell, Welfix, Justin and Tony Reich potentially in towards turn 1. Tony Reich now looking again to the inside line through turn number 2. Not going to get the move done, but Owen again finding off the attention of the Tech. The defence, the ETA defence, Ministry of Defence is quite literally open. But now Tech tries to close in again. Into the right-hander now of turn number 6. Tries to get the move done on the inside line. Never going to work, and Tech hangs on for third.
Yeah, he's trying his hardest at the moment to get as close as he possibly can, and that's actually inviting Gatkowski potentially into the mix as well. He's not really been pushing that hard here, so he's got plenty of ERS at his disposal, and actually may invite himself into this little battle potentially for P2. Owen is actually under a little bit of pressure here, not maybe necessarily from that Kick Sauber BRT, but actually potentially the McLaren Cedar Phoenix Igniter of Gatkowski. Here he comes then going through the next couple of corners. In corner now is where we start to see that pressure as he now puts that power down as early as he possibly can, and Gatkowski has had the better exit versus Tech. The question is he going to go for the move? Overtake being used by both drivers, but the CPI man looking like he's going to get closer and closer, and then elects to drop it straight back to medium. He's not looking for it just yet. Tries to get in the wing mirrors, but no overtake on this occasion. Oh, that's a lot of smoke with 1 lap to go.
Yeah, definitely so. Tech, Gatkowski there, 3rd and 4th position. Mustache and Ghost King, I was about to say, were in the best seat in the house. Were in, potentially, the position to take Tech, Gatkowski, potentially, if they battle. They haven't battled just yet, but they are still in the box seat in the house, and Mustache and Ghost King have now separated slightly, but it means Mustache can now get on the back, try and attack the guys ahead of him. Tech and Gatkowski are obviously going to try and attack Owen, and Owen's going to try and defend, obviously, with Renz Thomason leading the way. So this is really fascinating in the sprint with 2 laps to go now. Renz Thomason leading the way, Owen there in 2nd, Tech there in 3rd, Gatkowski 4th, Mustache in 5th, Ghost King in 6th. It concerns the front 6 right now. Justin looking for the move on the back of Bell Wofix. That right-hander at turn number 6. Absolutely abysmal in terms of the smoke coming through there. Definitely certain parts of the track kick it up. But I've got to be honest, compared to PSGL last night, it's not half as bad as what I expected.
Yeah, it is raceable. It's not great, but it is raceable. If anyone is in cockpit view, however, I have a feeling that they may end up struggling in this race. It's just manageable. It is getting worse, though, with each passing lap. So I think maybe at the beginning of the race, if this is anything to go by, beginning of the race it should be all right, but as the race progresses, this smoke is getting worse. I'm not going to lie to you. We're seeing what the drivers are going to do now. We're going to see any overtakes on this occasion. I think it will be not the most tactically wise solution to go for the overtake on this occasion. We'll have to see if anyone decides to go for it. Owen blocking him in, and Owen very critically blocking in Tech, but a rear lockup from Owen means that Tech has got the move done. So Owen trying his hardest to try and get into a little bit of a box maneuver with his teammate, has seen Tech get that move done because Owen had a real lockup, but Tech has had a really bad exit out that corner. He's trying to go down the inside, is Owen. He's found the gap. Down the inside line he will go. Tech will have around the outside. He's getting boxed in. Will Owen have to swap position with Renz? This will be ETA's head. I don't think so, but it was very well defended from ETA. But Owen is going to overtake Renz Thomason. Considering Renz has been leading this race, there could be some internal conflict here.
There could be some internal conflict, but I think, honestly, how that's worked out has worked out to the ETA tradebook. But it's also brought the TTM boys back into play exactly how I expected it to go. There was a yellow flag coming through the right-hand return, number 14. I think that's Bell Belby going slow, maybe going for a push lap and a fastest lap attempt towards the back end of the field. But Owen leading the way, Renz in second, Tech now in third. Tech is on the front foot. You can see Renz Thomason visibly struggling. This race has now gone for Renz, and it's now all about maintaining that 1-2 from an ETA perspective. Gatkowski nearly taps the rear end, the back of the kick Sauber, untilts the car ever so slightly, but Gatkowski has got much more EOS than him, about 20% more, and now he comes on the attack, coming out of the hairpin, running down the straight. It's going to be Tech now vulnerable, rather than Renz being vulnerable to the back of Tech, and down into the right hand, and now turn number 14 we go. Gatkowski looks the inside line on the back of Tech, absolutely storms it to the inside line, gets the move done though, and it's actually contacted there with Renz. Renz there in second, Gatkowski there in third. It's a clean move in the end, relatively, from Gatkowski, but coming through the final corner, the Irishman on top, ETA on top. Owen to the line, takes the race win. Renz there in second, Gatkowski in third, and how that final couple of corners went could have led Mustache to fourth. In the end, he's 400th of a second off Tech for that fourth position.
Ryan critically running now with a puncture on the front left tyre at the moment, so I don't know if there's been some kind of damage for the TF10 man currently in 20th place, but he's got absolutely no front left tyre whatsoever, so I don't know if he's tried to go for a lap, trying to see where what he actually has. He's got 8 laps soft tyre, so he has actually tried to start on the soft tyre, and it's not gone the distance, and it has punctured, so he will now try and end this race on only 3 wheels. Will Ryan. But yeah, I have a feeling, I know it's only a sprint race. It doesn't really count as a Grand Prix race, but ETA there are going to have a conversation with Owen because he did not deserve the race victory. Bell Belby does get the fastest lap of this race in the end, but Owen was by far the slower of the ETA drivers, and actually I have a feeling Renz was trying to help Owen along. So for ETA, this is a fantastic result, but internally between the drivers, I don't think Renz and Owen are going to be the best of mates right now.
No, honestly, I think for about 90, I would say about 95% of that race is Renz just making his way to the line there in the, well, about to make his way. He's actually beached. He's completely beached. It's Ryan. That is a very lonely looking RB, and we're going to have to wait until he's not beached. He retires. Simply retires. He is beached. Beached on the right-hand side coming through. That's not the scene that I wanted to end the race with, to be honest, but Ryan has retired from the race. Wouldn't have picked up any points anyways. He finished there down in P20, but in the end, hopefully we'll go through to the results. It is Owen out on top, and it's ETA currently out on top as well, with Renz Thomason there in second, 6/10 of a second behind him. In the end, ETA ate that for about 95% of the race, played that well. It was only with what happened with Tech and what happened with that real lock that Owen had down in towards the right-hand return number 14. That's what cost them ultimately potential better finish for a 1-2. It's still a 1-2 in the end. ETA will absolutely take it. Gatkowski there in third, Tech there in fourth, Mustache there in fifth, Ghost King sixth, then Bell Rofex, Venom, Brando, and Tony Reich rounding off the top 10. The rest of the field right down at the bottom, including the likes of Volokungen and Fraser, 11th and 12th position. Let's, though, have a look at the championship standings and actually have more of a deep dive, actually, into these championship standings. That we have got the feature race coming up very soon. Of course, we're going to get restarted and all of that in between, which gives us a lot of good time, actually, to try and decipher what happened, not only in that sprint, but also in the points in the standings. ETA 1-2 is absolutely critical, even though they pick up a limited amount of points compared to the feature race. ETA are in 4th position right now in the standings, over 100 points behind BRT. Any incremental gain that they can get on CPI, Team Chazoo in particular, but also BRT, is second coming. And in the end, a 1-2 in the sprint, absolutely brilliant, I've got to say, from their perspective. And as you say there, Jota, they may think internally that it could have been an even better result. But in the end, it's still a 1-2. I wouldn't really complain.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, you know, it was still a fantastic result for the likes of ETA, and ETA needed that as well because obviously they didn't really have the best of sort of season starts, so they need to sort of push forward. And at the moment, the momentum is certainly in the Aston Martin team's sort of realm at the moment. So I'm expecting that they're going to effectively close down the gap on CPI, potentially on Team Shizou as well. Remember, this is still a bit of a shocking stat here. Team Shizou haven't actually got a race win to their name this season. So, and typically, the second driver has not been on it versus the number one driver. So they've dropped points out of the wazoo, if you will. So I'm expecting that, ETA keep putting in the performance with the two drivers like that, they'll close up towards the front very quickly.
They will close up to the front very quickly indeed. And E10, of course, wrapped up the EML Team Championship a couple of weeks ago, so they already know how to get one over on the likes of Team Shizou. 2 seasons in a row they did it in EML. Can they try and somehow get back into contention with that 1-2 finish in the sprint? Or we may be looking a little bit too forward into the future with what's going to happen in the feature race. Only time will tell, really, out on track and how this is going to go for the Chinese Grand Prix. We are going to get a second restart because we're going to go now from one-shot qualifying into the race, which is ridiculous because you should just be able to try and edit the lobby settings as you go really on the fly so that we can actually try and get some really good racing out on track. What I will report, though, just looking on the left-hand side of my screen, bone dry for both sessions. So we could see that feature race being completely bone dry.
As far as I'm aware, I don't know if there is going to be a restart and they're just going to stick with the regular weather forecasting and just keep it as a neutral sort of predicted weather, which would mean that the game decides for you. So for all we know, could be wet qualified, could be a wet race. I don't know. We'll have to see anyway. The drivers will be readying up quickly so then we can retire out that lobby and get on with the next one. It gives us an opportunity, very quickly, if you don't mind, to just go back about the race results last week, James, because I think one thing I want to bring up actually is just the inconsistencies of the drivers around in that top 15. As you can see, of course, in WR Legacy, the top 15 score points. Look at the teams. They're so spread out, except for one, ET8. ET8 are showing some serious pace together as a team at the moment. And that is exactly what they need. And this is why I'm saying they are dark horses in this championship. If they continue on with the performances that they are producing, they're going to close up on the front very quickly. The only reason why they didn't really close up too abruptly is because the two teams that they're actually really versing against, Shizou and BRT, are both scored points above them as well. So it's all about that team performance. And at the moment, ET8's got it in the bucket loads. And I think that is what's going to carry them towards potentially being a front runner. We'll have to see.
Yep, and that's why I can't remember the predictions actually that we all made at the start of the season, but I'm sure I put ET8 up there. To be honest, within at least the top 3, I think I put them in. And they're definitely showing signs of that. Sergio and Matteo, 3rd and 4th. They have picked up multiple 1-2 finishes in the EML as well. So they've already got that experience. They've already got that good effect potentially that is going to be happening. But Joe Murphy, Oscar, Sergio, Matteo, Jeslo was the top 5. Looking through the chat as well, does NVR get an honourable mention? Yes, unfortunately they do, because they are still on the graphic there, as you can see, 8th position, 76 points to their name, but they do get an honourable mention right down toward the bottom end of the field. But Bunga Racing Team out on top, Team Shizou in 2nd, CPI there currently in 3rd position, around 99 points I make that between the front 3 teams, which, given the course of how the season's going to play out, and given how we've got 24 races in the season as well, including 6 sprints, we are going to be seeing these standings all close up. And do you know what? I'm even going to put this out. We could even see maybe one team, if they're so dominant in the second half of the season, we could see them reach the glorious 1,000-point mark.
Potentially, I mean, that's the potential if the teams work together, and that's the thing. They've got to have both of the drivers working with each other if they want to sort of hit that possible achievement. Just to clarify on something you said earlier, James, I've actually found the prediction standings for where we think teams are going to finish. BRT, Luke said that they reckon BRT had finished 6th. I said I reckon they'd finish 2nd. You said they'd finished 8th.
Yeah. And I will tell you why, because we have got a little bit of time. I was basing my predictions off EML, and BRT did shocking in EML. They were, I think, 7th in the standings at the end of the season, which, given their credit, they really picked up towards the end of the season. But given how inconsistent I think the team are overall as an entity, that's why I put them so far down. But looking right now, they're top of the standings. They're 51 points clear. Team Shazoo, CPI, Eats8, who we put down, sure, within the top 5 in some of our predictions, are there 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. BRT are no slouches right now. They're definitely proving that, and they've proven that with how many wins this season? I think 3 wins this season.
Yeah, I think they're the only team with multiple wins this season. Everyone else has either got 0 or 1 win to their name. As I said, the shocking stat for me is the fact that Team Shazoo don't actually have a race victory to their name at the moment, as we're just about to get going with this new lobby, by the way, we're qualifying. Just as a curiosity bit, the top 4 in the standings overall, I believe, are Team Shazoo, BRT, ET8 and CPI, aren't they? At the moment, the predictions for the top 4 look like this. Luke said the top 4 would be Shazoo, TTM, ET8, and TF10. You said, James, ET8, Team Shazoo, will not credit Novus in this one, TTM and TF10. I said Shazoo, BRT, ET8, and CPI. Just saying, I'm happy to take that.
Yeah, you're happy to take that, but it is round 8 of the season, and we have still got 16 rounds to go after this championship. So anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. A bit of an omen there to Murray Walker in all of this as well. Apologies that we that we have waffled on for so much, and that I've mentioned EML so many times until the sun doesn't shine. To be fair, I do also mention PSGL on this live stream as well. But we have got 18 minutes worth of qualifying. It is short qualifying, remember, not Q1, Q2, Q3. Teams will not get confused, I'm sure. But we have got 18 minutes worth of qualifying. This is where it really matters. And what really matters as well is what the weather's going to do, because it is bone dry, beautiful blue skies and sunshine. Everyone on the same compound attire. Given how they're free to come out of the pit lane, that suggests to me we have got a dry race as well.
Yeah, I should be expecting, hopefully, fingers crossed, a dry race. I mean, don't get me wrong, a wet race around here is absolutely magnificent, to say the least, as well. There will be another lobby restart at the end of this one, folks. Of course, remember that in order to avoid any kind of slipstreaming in this race, because slipstreaming is obviously extremely powerful in this game, ghosting is turned on for this particular session, so there will be another lobby restart at the end of this one before we get on with the race. But 18 minutes short qualifying, it's one dash effectively, and only really the one opportunity to make sure that you can snag for pole. So really, you guys have got to really be on it here, as the sun is shining really brightly around here as well. It tells me that the track conditions are certainly going to be very, very hot. Means that the soft tyres may be prone to a little bit of overheating. We'll see, though, as all the drivers are about to get going. I believe the first driver just coming down the main straight, actually, to me, James, looks like it is going to be a Red Bull, and I think it is. No, it's not. It's an RB. Actually. It's an RB. It's Tony Reich of TF10. He's the front runner, and he'll be the first person to start a lap and probably set a lap. We'll see.
Yeah, Tony Reich, of course, who came to fame, actually, around this track in the 24 Hours of F1 event, which is not happening, by the way, this year. You would have expected something to come out. It is not happening this year. I'm part of the admin team over there for the past season. Not happening just because of how the game cycle really is, and because, I mean, the smoke as well, just being added into that, the decision was taken well before then. However, Tony Reich, who has made claim to fame as winning around here at the 24 Hours of F1, begins underway now, running up the hill in toward the right-hander now of turn number 1, now through the right-hander of turn number 2. And we'll see what the Frenchman in an RB can do on the run down the hill now through the left-hander of turn at number 3. People are taking the slight mickey out of you for only Tony Reich. I heard that as well. I didn't want to mention anything, as now Tony comes in towards the right-hander of turn number 6. We'll see what his first sector is like. It would be good if I had the first sector actually up. Don't have a clue what his first sector was like, because I didn't have it up, but I'm assuming it was quite good.
Yeah, not too bad in that first sector. His first sector looking fairly sharp, actually. Tech setting a 23.4, 23.6 though for Tony on that particular first lap. Well, not having the finest of second sectors, though. Losing the rear ever so slightly. Just tucking in behind, by the way, is the BRT man of Tech, so he's actually able to see all of the issues that are happening. Tony's second sector 26.9, Tech blistering also with a 26.9, so he's 2/10 up on this lap. So we expect Tech to beat Tony by 2/10 unless a mistake happens in the final couple of corners. DRS available, overtake being used as he powers down the main straight, nips it back into hot lap, going then down to this hard braking zone, the infamous Stroll Ricardo incident round here as well, going through then that final corner, then through the left-hander, and that will be the lap that Tony, the initial lap that Tony will be setting. Perhaps will be 2 or 3 tenths down on Tech. We'll see. Comes across the line, 29.8. 29.6 for Tech. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, really good lap times actually being set there. Justin there goes third as well. I'm on board with Brando now coming to the left-hander in towards turn number 16. We'll see what he can do. Renz Thomason splitting the pair there of Tech and Tony Reich. Gakowski there coming into fourth as well. Brando on the run to the line. 7th, slowest out of everyone for now. Belwofix invalid through the first sector. Guillen is 50.7 in the middle sector. Belby toward the end of his lap as well for EVE. EVE did quite well in recent races around here actually in WOR Legacy Division. Looking to try and do the same thing again. Belby there, 10th position. A very familiar name to you and me on PlayStation. But in the end, not going as quick as what one might have expected. There's Nassim for EVE. The other man, former TF10 man, recently, I think, left the team, if I'm not mistaken. Now joining EVE into the left-hander now of turn number 16. We'll see what Nassim can do. Beautiful through the final corner on the run toward the line. And he goes 13th. 130.176 in the end. Don't judge a book by its cover. Everyone else, I think, is down at the minute. Rayen invalid, Venom invalid, Belwofix invalid. So currently, Tech topping the session by a good near 10th.5 of a second.
Yeah, so initially some good pace from BRT, and that's exactly what they need. The unfortunate issue is at the moment, and there's no disrespect to Justin, he is an upcoming driver, will be up there in the future, but he's not up there quite yet. So 0.3 of a second is a massive difference in this league, because it means that it's the difference between you being on the front row in pole and being on the fourth row of the grid behind Gatkowski. So Justin needs to find at least another couple of tenths, try and get up there if he can with Tech. Gatkowski doing a pretty good job in 7th, but his teammate also separated by a few tenths. He's down in 11th. TRT struggling a little bit as well. Brando only in 12th. Guillen also struggling down in 14th. But the biggest shock for me so far, Owen not able to set a lap time as well. He invalidated his lap. He's out on another out lap. He wants to try and set some kind of lap initially out the blocks. He's got the time to do it, but no surprises for the guy in 6th place. Zach, once again, the FRT man at the front. This is where FRT need him at the front, because he could be a little bit of an upset for the people that we would expect at the front, and FRT could get big points out of him tonight.
Yeah, they definitely do. We'll see, of course, what Owen can do out on track. He comes now through the left-hander of turn number 11. Apologies, by the way, there is a slight delay on the stream. It's now kicked up to about 20 seconds by the looks. So apologies about that if you are listening to us in about 20 seconds' time. Owen now coming through the right-hander, though, of turn number 13, about to prepare up on his lap. Skies as well. Could be sky's the limit, potentially, for the GT10 man there down in 17th position. He'd be looking to try and get a lap time at least on the board. His teammate Gavosh there is bottom out of everyone right now with a 30.5. Owen, though, will look quite strong, I am sure, on a one-lap pace. We saw it in one-shot qualifying. We saw it in the sprint. How on earth is Owen going to do when qualifying here for the feature race? Let's find out. Now through the left-hander of turn number 16. On the run toward the line, we will come then with the Irishman, and he takes the dust for good measure, running down in towards turn number 1. That is utterly, utterly disgraceful, I've got to say. Coming in towards turn number 1. Now through the right-hander of turn number 2. Pixelated frames a lot with that dust coming now through the left-hand return number 3. But actually, his first lap now coming in actually doesn't look too bad. His first sector split will be telling. To see what this first sector split is, I think we were around 23.5s in the first sector, 23.4 from Owen in the first sector. So purple on my screen. Not sure if he's purple on your screen.
Yeah, purple in the first sector by just a very small margin, actually. Versus Tech. He's about 10th up on Tech. Tech got the fastest first sector of anyone so far with a 25.444. He's on a 25.434 at the moment as Owen, according to my screen. Anyway, I'll just have a double check on that one, actually. Now I'm saying that because it can be a little bit bulky. Oh, that's a fantastic second sector, though, from Owen. So he is looking a little bit sharper at the moment. Yeah, 24.479. So he is actually a bit down at the moment on Tech, so I'm not sure why I'm seeing a 4.34 from in the top right. We just ignore everything that's on the screen at the moment, because for all we know, there's more things that have been broken from the recent update, to say the least. Going then with the overtake available, DRS available for the Aston Martin as he'll power down to the end of the straight. He's sort of matched Tech in the middle sector, to be fair, not too bad. Middle sector's pretty much matched across the top 3 at the moment, and certainly at the moment, Ren's going to be putting a little bit of pressure as he's now on a lap as well, by the looks of things. He's just started a lap. But Owen, his teammate, looking to try and at least set an initial lap time. It is going to be on the more conservative side. And if it's conservative with a 29.7, I'm expecting it's going to be a blisteringly quick lap time when he actually gets properly going. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all, and I think Owen made a slight mistake coming in towards turn number 16 there as well. It just ran out wide, cost him a little bit of speed coming out the corner, but really, really good lap time actually from Owen. Goes quicker than his teammate who's just started up on a run. Sky's now on a run into the left-hander now of turn number 16 at the final corner. The GT10 man will come as a 50.9 in the middle sector, and how is that valid coming through the final corner? Luckily he's bottom out of everyone at this moment in time, but how on earth was that a valid final sector and a final corner from him? He went so far out wide, I thought he was going to try and make a break for the Chinese border there for Sky. He's down in 17th position. Belwoffick's on a lap, Venom on a lap, Rayen on a lap as well. Rens Thomason, though, is on a lap, now running down the straight into the right-hander at turn number 14. He's looking good. He's 1,000 clear of Mustache right now. Has got to be right on the limit now, coming into the right-hander at turn number 14. Much better, actually. Carrying the speed much better than no one coming through the final couple of corners now. Through the kink of 15. Now into the left-hander at turn number 16. No, bails into the pit lane. Nearly does a Hamilton into the pits as well.
Yeah, very, very careful going through there. Yeah, his first sector was well off the pace, was Ren. So it's no surprising that he's just took you straight into the pit lane. He was down a 10th on the likes of Tech and even down a 10th on Owen, actually. So needs find a bit more pace in that one. Dive straight into the pit lane and he'll have another go with a fresh set of boots. Just keeping an eye out on Mustaches. Tony Reich comes across the line. Rich Reich, I don't know how you pronounce it. You know the point. TF10 man in second place, 29.678. Only 1,000th of a second down on Tech. Tech's on a lap himself, though, at the moment. He's just looking to try and improve if he can. He's just about to finish his first section. He's over a second down, so he's actually on a bit of a lap here. Yeah, nice. Keep an eye on Rayen. Goes fourth fastest. TF10 need that kind of boost. It's a bit of an unusual one. Oh, Zach goes fastest. That doesn't surprise me at the moment. He's a blisteringly quick driver. FRT are very happy to have him at the moment. Currently, Xbox hogging the front two spots of this qualifying so far, but that could change as TTM Mustard is coming across the line to try and improve. Nice. Is he going to improve? Oh, doesn't he improve? 29.5.
Yeah, really good lap time there by Mustache. He was a 10th and a half up in the middle sector, backed that up, kept that time right the way through to the line. Goes quicker than Zach, goes quicker than Tech there in third. He's very, very happy, the Frenchman. I can guarantee you that. Who else is on a lap right now? Belwoffick's not on a lap. Gian is not on a lap either. Gatkowski, however, I think is coming through the turn number 7. Through the right-hand return number 8. It's been a bit of a slow burner so far for CPI within this session. He's got a hell of a amount of traffic though. He's got a Red Bull right in the way of him. Now coming to the left-hand return number 10. That is one of the TTM boys. Is that potentially Ghost King just backing off a lap? I think it might be. He's 1,000th up in the middle sector, but CPI are going to be getting on the blow with their manager, and that is a block definitely within qualifying from my perspective. Gatkowski now through the right-hander now, turn number 13. Definitely been off-put substantially, I've got to say, in that middle sector. We'll see, though, what he can do. Coming now into the right-hander, turn number 14, and whether he just bins this lap off and then goes again with about 3 minutes to go in the session, we will see. Coming into the right-hander, turn number 14, Buemi famously going off the track there in 2011 in the Scuderia Toro Rosso back in the day in Free Practice 1, I think it was. Losing all 4 wheels. Gatkowski luckily hasn't lost all 4 wheels, but he loses all 4 wheels of track. It's an invalid lap, 29.9. Would have improved by only 6,000th of a second. So CPI, from my perspective, even though they were invalidated through the final corner, they've got a case that that was a blocking qualifying.
I've got an unfortunate feeling here for Tez, because Tez, the owner of TTM, is obviously not under the best sort of pretense at the moment with Gatkowski. Gatkowski, a team manager at CPI as well. Consistently at loggerheads, you'd have to say, in the manager's chat. And now Gatkowski getting blocked by a TTM driver would be it's definitely going to end up being another Gatkowski appeal straight to the stewards about a TTM driver. That is for certain, because it was indeed very close in that one as well. Just keeping an eye out on people who are just starting their laps at the moment. Rens Thomason looking to improve. He's gone out a little bit out of sync with the rest of the drivers out there as well. Looks like Owen's also gone a little bit out of sync and found at least another half a tenth has Rens Thomason but it's still only in the 23.5s. His first sector is just not up to scratch versus the likes of Mustache, Zach, and Tech at the moment. Already down a tenth, down 2/10 actually on Mustache. Through the right-hander, losing the rear. Surely he's just going to have to abandon this lap after that one because he's definitely going to be losing a bucket of time. You might as well save the tyres here, but Mustache, no, he's still going for it. I'm surprised, actually, Rens Thomas is going to continue in this one, but he is a 10.5 up in the second sector.
It's purple in the middle sector as well. 50.3, taking a very tight line. My line that I like to take through there. Rens Thompson's clearly been watching my racers coming through the right-hander. The turn number 13. Now on the run down into the right-hander, turn number 14. Pretty much sticking to the middle of the road, avoiding any bump that may come up on the left-hand side. There are notable bumps that will lose you about 2 or 3 miles an hour down the straight, as now Rens comes in toward the right-hander. The turn number 14, he's a little bit shoddy coming out of that compared to his first run. Yep. Now into the left-hander now, turn number 16, through the final corner. That is beautiful from Rens Thomason on the run to the line. Doesn't go quicker, and in the end, that slight slide that he had coming out at 14, and that slight, very, very slight lockup cost him a tenth of a second.
Yeah, definitely found that lost about a 10, maybe 2 as well as Owen. His teammate goes even faster. It's 0.005 of a second faster than Mustache. That just goes to show how every thousandth does count in this one. But Rens Thomason has now got to get back to the pit lane. That'll take him around about a minute and a half, about a minute from now. Then he's got about 40 seconds to get in, get the tyres out, get out again, and also about another 10 seconds to get out of the pit lane. He should be fine, but all of that time is just being wasted, and I really think he should have just abandoned that lap, even though that he found that 10.5 in the second sector. He should have just abandoned it. You definitely had at least another 2/10 in your pocket, sir. We'll see though. 1:29.749. Not a bad lap time in typical sort of racing scenarios, but in WR Legacy Division, as I said, every thousandth counts. It's the difference between you being in first and second, quite literally.
Yeah, and what I was going to say there as well about Gavroche, who was on a lap time, he's bailed into the pit lane, done exactly what Rens Thomason did, bailed into the pit lane, and to be honest, I think he should have, because he was definitely up on his time, but he wasn't improving, I think, enough to try and even fend off the likes of Venom, Fraser, Nassim, all of those drivers just ahead of him, very, very minutely, a 0.4 of a second ahead. You've seen something?
Yeah, Belby, I think he's on an in-lap at the moment, but it looks to me as if he's just Tokyo drifting around the corners, or Shanghai drifting, actually, to be honest with you, going through these left-handers. He's not I don't know if he accidentally did that, but he did a wonderful drift. Going through that long right-hander, and I think he just lost the rear ever so slightly. Looks like he's doing a bit of a weird trail break. In fact, no, there we are. He's out of fuel, actually. So he's doing all of that drifting. He's actually wasted enough fuel. I think he might be at risk, you know, because he's going to be very slow getting into the pit lane.
Definitely so. Just seen Lincoln Park's going to be at Wembley, apparently, next year. That's interesting. Owen Adam top, though, Mustache in second, Zach there in third. Looking, though, through in the meantime, I think Skies is the first one just starting up on a lap time right now. Belby, as you mentioned, I don't think is going to get enough time. What, 30-second turnaround? He's not even at turn number 15, and yeah, he is definitely not going to be making it into the pit lane, so that is a little bit of a misjudgment there from Belby there down in 13th. Unlucky for some for now. What normally happens, though, toward the end of qualifying is, here in China, we normally see the invalidations creep in. We normally don't see as many improvements as what we usually do. But with this weather staying exactly how it has done so far throughout the session, as Belby there does retire in the pit lane, with this weather staying exactly the same as it is, the track is only increasing the temperature, so which means more rubber is getting put down, also means drivers like Skies are finding time. As soon as I say that, he's just gone absolutely over the curb to the left-hand turn number 12, to the right-hand 13. Skies is completely sideways coming through 13. How on earth he's kept that going, I do not know.
Yeah, very, very loose on the rear at the moment. Unfortunately, GT10 showing at the moment that they are definitely the 11th seed team out there, of course, replacing Novus Racing, who retired very early in this championship for what is unfortunately, I think, obvious reasons, invalidating, or should have invalidated, his lap, Skies, but on this occasion managed to hold on to his lap, but he's definitely going to be invalidating it there, though, and that is his lap over and done with, and he will be starting right at the back.
He's not going to do a Rayen, is he? He just about gets out of the gravel coming through the final corner. In the end, no improvement from the GT10 man, but he nearly did a Rayen through that part of the track. Zach is on a lap, Mustache on a lap, Tech on a lap, Tony Reich on lap 500 up in the first sector, but we'll see what Moustache can do. Coming out through the left-hander now of turn number 10. Zach is a 10th up, though, just ahead of him out on track in the middle sector. Moustache, a 50.1 in the middle sector. Zach's a 50.3 in the middle sector. A 10th and a half up easily on Zach. Zach is up on his time. Whether or not Moustache could have a really good final sector remains to be seen. We've got 10 seconds to go. Owen feels like he's done enough out on top. Moustache in second, Zach there in third. At this moment in time, he hasn't done enough because Moustache is improving, Zach is improving, and as long as they improve, they're going to be beating Owen on their lap times. Moustache now through the right under 14, beautiful out of 14. Now through the right under 15, Rayen there goes third as well for Team TF10. Now through the final corner for Moustache, absolutely on the limit, foot to the floor, runs the line, goes quicker by 10.
Nice.
Really good lap time in the end. Zach doesn't find the improvement. Tech, however, is 50.2. Moustache with a 50.193 in the middle sector. Tech's a 50.262. Looks like, though, is he backing off or is he just taking the middle road? He's taking the middle road into the right-hander now of turn number 14. Seeing an improvement as well. Tony Reich there goes second. 1,000th of a second behind Moustache. It's an all-French pairing at the front end of the field. Tech now through the final corner. Unsettles the car. That's going to lose him time. Through the final corner on the front line. Goes third. 29.5. Good lap time from him. Ghost King improving. Ren's improving as well. Plenty improvements being found by everyone. What is it what I said earlier on? There's no improvements can be found at the end of a session. They're definitely proving me wrong here tonight. Ghost King now running down the straight into the right hander turn number 14.
Wow.
We will see what the TTM man can do. He is right on the limit. Rens Thomason, I am sure, is up on his time as well. But Ghost King now from the right hander turn number 14, looking to try and improve. This could look good for third. I think he's reaching above Moustache and Tony Reich right now, but Ghost King through the final corner on the run to the line, goes third, goes ahead of Tech in the end. Good lap from him. Volakongan on the run to the line, he's invalidated. Ren's on the run to the line, only manages 9th. Moustache out on top, Tony Reich in second, Ghost King there in third. If I'm not mistaken, Jota, I think we've got a French 1-2-3.
Yeah, French 1-2-3 and a really good effort from TTM. They needed that. That's the kind of boost that they need. If they end up getting a double podium tonight, that will put all their doubters to shame if they can get that one. So that is going to be a critical start. But 1,000th of a second is the difference between pole position and second place. Moustache, 129.443. Tony, 129.444. Astonishing. Just absolutely. When I said it'd be down to the thousandth, I didn't mean it literally. That's astonishing.
Really, really strong end to that qualifying session. And Moustache, he's Algerian according to his flag. I'm just going to call him French, why not? Moustache out on top, Tony Reich in second, Ghost King there in third, Tech there in fourth, best for Brits, best for BRT as well there in fourth, ahead of ETA, which is crucial, ahead of TF10, which is crucial, ahead of TRT, which is crucial as well. Rayen there in sixth, Brando in seventh, Zach in eighth, Friends in ninth, Bell Wofix ran off the top 10, Justin Gatkowski, Fraser, Volakongan, Venom top 15, then Gian, Bell Belby, Nassim, Gavroche, and then Skies, GT10, right down the bottom end of the field. But a great qualifying session in the end. We are going to take a very quick intermission break. We do have a restart, don't we, Jota?
Yeah, I think we are going to have a restart now because, of course, everyone had the ghosting on. So we've got the grid.
Oh, yeah.
We're just going to now take a very quick break.
We are going to take a quick break. I was just second-guessing for a second. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with you in around about a minute and a half. Welcome back, everyone, to WOR Legacy Division. We are here tonight for round number 8 of the championship. It is the Chinese Grand Prix. It is the feature race. And what happened in that qualifying session, Mr. Jota, remind us for people who either have forgotten, like me, or for people who are just tuning in.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I've just took a nap because we were taking so long between lobbies. You know what? It's been an absolute blinder, wasn't it? That qualifier. To be fair, I think what that shows is that it's such an intense grid again, isn't it? This is what we expect from Legacy Division. Only 1,000th of a second separating pole from second place. I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Towards that front, and it is one hell of a showing from TTM as well, 2nd and 4th respectively for them. They're going to be really, really happy with that one. They need to take this opportunity, grasp it with both hands, and run away with it.
Yep, drivers, by the way, have been told to ready up in a minute's time, so whether or not they decide to ready up in a minute's time is a different thing. But what we can do is run through the standings just before that. It is Bunga Racing Team out on top on 291 points. Team Chazoo in second on 240. CPI in third on 192. E-Tail in fourth on 175. Tatum Racing Team TRT in fifth on 163. Top Team Motorsport TCM in sixth on 140. Team TF10 in seventh on 108. Novus, rest in peace, Novus, they're in eighth on 76. FRT in ninth on 57. Project Avisio Racing there in 10th on 45, and then Grand Track 10 in 11th on 13 after their debut performances, of course, in the last two races. Bunga Racing Team, though, 51 points clear Team Chazoo. Great qualifying, I think it was from Tech, if I'm not mistaken, qualifying in 4th position. In the end, Justin qualifying halfway down the field's not going to suit them very well in this race.
No, this is exactly what BRT have been known not to do, is to have that sort of wide gap. Usually in the race, though, they do end up squishing a bit closer together, so that's what I'd expect from BRT by the end of this race. Quick correction on my point, by the way, Mustache got pole, so actually TTM are 1st and 3rd, not 2nd and 4th, as I said, with Tech in 4th, and then with Justin in 11th, as I said, I expect that to squeeze. Good shout-out from Bolero Fox, by the way, to get into 10th. It's a good effort from him, and a little bit down the order, though, from his teammate, because his teammate, Zach up in 8th. Good opportunity for FRT to earn some big points. They need this tonight, as I'm expecting everyone is going to be getting ready, because this is going to be a very quick lobby to light scenario, I think.
It is indeed, and expect everyone potentially on a set of hard compound tyres to start off this race and then transition to a set of medium compound tyres later on. But the 5 red lights now going out here in China for round number 8 even of the championship. And it is lights out away we go, and Mustache gets a very good start. Tony Reich gets a good start, and also getting a good start is Tech, but he gets cut off there by Tony Reich. He's ahead though, go down in towards turn 1, rides the curve on the inside line. 3 wide in the background as the Aston Martin of Owen is forced out wide. Absolute carnage in the background. I think it's Owen that's actually been forced off. Tony Reich and Tech also forced off as well. There's going to be absolute drama in the background. There's a sideways car thing and Zach in the background as well. But this favours TTM. Mustache leads the way. Ghost King in second. Rayen in third. There's a car crash in right in behind. Tech is out. Tony Reich is out, and the safety car has already been deployed. What on earth happened there? I know there were 3 wide in towards someone, but all of that come from Tony Reich really defending aggressively off the back of Tech. Tech to the inside line. That 3 wide caused it all through turn number 1.
Oh, crikey. So, everyone in the chat's going absolutely mental, by the way, over on Discord at the moment. Tech, I don't know what happened to Tech there, but it looked like he was just straight lining. Looked like Owen off of the circuit. It just led to a bit of a concertina effect where people were rejoining onto the track and people were then getting caught out by it, and it just led to loads of people spinning out. That half-spinning car, by the way, was Bell Belby in 13th place. But who's benefited from this situation? Well, TTM are now 1-2. Rayen is looking to try and get some big points here for TF10. And look straight away what's happened. Owen and Rens Thomason, 1 and 4 position gain. They've squeezed that pack together, and now they're in for big points tonight as well. So our teams in that midfield are going to be closing up towards those at the front. So that's going to make for a nice little competition, because you've got 9th and 10th, Gatkowski, Fraser. They're down the order in CPI. Chazoo are 11th and 12th. They're earning little points as well. The person who's lost out big time, Zach, 7 positions down.
Yep, 7 positions down indeed. Rens Thomason is into the pit lane. Rens Thomason is into the pit lane. I never expected to see this, to be honest. He's into the pit lane. I'm not sure. Maybe if the car was... I don't think he's got damage. He's definitely going Maybe
No,
to
no, no, no.
transition.
I know, I
No, he
know,
has got
I know
damage.
what these people are doing.
He
James.
has got damage.
All right, fair enough. He has got damage. That surprises me. So a bunch of people have decided that they're going to get off of the tyres that they're currently on at the moment. Mercedes double stack, by the way, for EVE. Looks like a bit of a swap in tyres then for those that are going to move over to the medium tyre. They are absolutely not going to the end. I guarantee they're coming straight back into the pit lane and putting the hard tyre back on. And I would expect Ren's probably to do the same as well. He'll join right at the back of the queue, but he won't have to pit to the pit at all, technically, until the end of the race. The question is, will the hard tyres go distance? That is the question.
And that's exactly what I was going to bring up, because I don't think the Hesada Hards are going to get to the end of the race from here. They are going to be nigh on puncture territory, if not puncture territory, I think by about lap 25, lap 26. So they will be literally hanging on for dear life towards the end of the race if they do try and get toward the end. I do think, though, it is going to be a really interesting race, though, out on track now. We've got a TTM scenario where they're 1-2 for the first time since Monaco, believe it or not, at this point in time in the race. Rayen there in third, Owen and fourth, Justin in fifth. Ignore Rayen because he's a French-Algerian. We've still got a French 1-2-3 off the start as well, which is unbelievable. Owen there in fourth, but Rens Thomason clearly picking up some form of damage. He might have got caught up in that slight three-wide moment and that kerfuffle coming through the left-hand of 3 and 4. That's where I think he's picked up the damage. In the end, he's down in 15. Whether or not, though, E-Tech tell him to stay out there, go for a set of mediums, and tell them expect another safety car just before the halfway stage of the race, which I think inevitably there will be. I think Renz just sticks out there in position, stays in 15. If there's another safety car, E-Tech will make for a look absolute geniuses with Renz pinning in early.
Yeah, no, that's obviously Ren's having to make that pit stop. Are we going to see them dive into the pit lane? I'm expecting that's exactly what's going to happen. Ren's obviously leading. Bell be leading from the front, but he's on the hard tyre, so he'll be going right round and then straight away.
Yeah,
is Ren's coming in? He is not. Is Gain coming in? Gain is coming in. Nassim coming in. Zach is staying out. Only one coming in is Gian, getting straight off of the medium, straight back onto the hard tyre to go to the end of this race. So he's looking to go long, but it will be for at least a 3-stop race for the Tatum Racing Team driver. As I'm just looking at Luke, who's just told Tech that he can't park there, sir.
Did you just say Tatum Racing Team or Titum Racing Team?
I think I said Tatum. I hope I said Tatum. Let's keep our fingers crossed for the Tatum. And we'll bleep it. We'll go back in the edit and bleep it out if I missaid it.
We're 20 minutes before the watershed, nobody will notice. Mustache on top, is King in second, Rayen there in third. What this does do, though, obviously Constantine is the field up. Everyone now on very differing strategies, to be honest, especially the bottom 5. Belby Rens, Nassim, Zach, and Gian, all there on a set of mediums or on a set of hard compounder tyres. Set of hard compounder tyres. What's the famous dodgeball phrase that I'm looking for? It's a risky strategy, Cotton. Let's hope it pays off. That's exactly what I'm thinking now with Gian. They're down in 18th position. Pitting in, set a whole compounder tyres toward the end of the race. If there is no more safety cars in this race, he can try and make those toward the end of the race. But given how the closing speed will be, as the safety car will be coming in this lap, given how the closing speed will be, with the runners in front of him, pinned on possibly just a set of medium compounder tyres, they're going to be hand over fist quicker towards the end. So Gian, I think, almost has been set up to fail in more ways than one at this stage.
Yeah, the circuit's known for ripping tyres to bits alongside Britain, this one. So if you're going to try it, this is not probably the best circuit to have a go at it at, but we'll have to see. Anyway, as the drivers are getting themselves ready, they're warming the tyres up. Mustache and Ghost King, no doubt, communicating with each other, letting each other know when they need to go. Rayen leaving a good gap, though, as he's now closing that one down. Owen in fourth, Justin in fifth, and the sole, and let's be candid, BRT's slowest driver out of the pair of them at the moment. Say at the moment, Tech's not moving. Justin, not really been the quickest driver out of all of them, is going to have to lead from the front now. We'll have to see as they're going to get ready. When is he going to go is the question. No doubt they'll be counting each other through and working with each other on this one at TTM, or have they? I'm not so sure. Going through the final corner, and they are helping each other out, but they've not caught Rayen napping. Here we go.
Yep, here we go indeed. Ghost King on the back of Mustache. Owen, though, gets a really good start on the back of Rayen. Into the left-hander, the right-hander now, even in turn number 1, doesn't go for the move. Rayen stays in third. Owen there in fourth. Justin there in fifth. Everyone, I think, is actually staying in relatively the same order as what they were, as Gavroche and Skies are side by side through turn number 1. GT10 already holding up a bit of a train in behind. The Skies, Rens Thomason in that train as well, looking to try and get past on both GT10 boys, because this is absolutely crucial for his race and how this complexion of the race will change. Rens turning to the inside line, in towards turn number 6, tries to get the move done on the brakes. Rens Thomason outdoes Skies. Skies the limit for Rens up to 13th.
Yeah, if we talk about what we saw in the sprint race as well, the smoke is going to get more and more aggressive as this race goes on. So that may end up adding fuel to the fire with these drivers. You can already see starting to really pick up already as Venom makes a mistake as a result of that smoke as well, and ends up missing his apex and loses a bit of time to his teammate Volakongan. But Rens Thomason is overtaking people like they are stationary at the moment, now up to 12.
Yep, easy as you like for the ET8 man passing the GT10 man. GTM, though, going to go for a swap for the race lead, interestingly. Ghost King on the back of Mustache. Maybe trying an ET8 tactic. No, goes for the move. Ghost King ahead now of Mustache, down the straight towards turn number 14. Job done for him. Owen there riding behind as well. Was that
Fox going around the outside. Yeah, going around the outside.
Oh, no!
Onto the grass, he's going to get the move done. Gatkowski and FRT
oh my God.
That's a big tag slapper, well held from Valero Fox considering, but no doubt Gatkowski is going to be sent straight to the stewards for that one. Fraser is let go. Has he got damage, I wonder? I'm not sure, but I know for a fact Valero Fox has got damage surely on that left side. He has. He's missing an end plate.
Yeah, left side end plate damage on the car for Bell Wolfick. He's now riding behind FRT. And it's bad news, actually, if you're FRT, GT10 and EVE right now, because you're pretty much right in sync toward the bottom end of the field, and near enough outside of the points. Rens Thomason, though, not outside of the points, goes for the move to the inside line on Volakongan, also for the move on Venom. Both Shazoo boys absolutely disposed of. Brilliant move by Rens Thomason. Never looked likely to get both of them, not very likely to get one, but gets both Team Shazoo. Rens Thomason through, and he's into 9th, Volakongan in 10th, Venom there in 11th, now under pressure from Zach, who pulls the inside line on the back of Venom, but it is serpent snake-like from Rens Thomason. Throoney's into 9th, and Venom dropping down the field.
Oh, the smoke getting really intense, though. Rens Thomason dealing with it really well, trying to get now past the CPI guys. Remember, CPI and ET8 are in direct competition with each other in the standings at the moment, so this is a critical set of moves for CPI to try and withhold and try and make sure that Rens Thomason loses time in this race now. But is Gatkowski going to try and defend this one? Remember, he got into a little bit of a collision earlier on. He's not making any moves at all to try and defend that one, and Gatkowski relegated to 9th. And well held, actually, considering the smoke is getting really intense now. I think it's going to start getting quite serious here because the smoke is actually really long and it's stagnant on circuit as well. Tony leaves the session. Rens Thomason fastest lap, and he gets the move done on the other CPR driver. He's up to 7th.
He is carving his way through the field. Do you know what? It's even quicker than what I thought he might have done. Even possible to his standards, Rens Thomason. He's a very high standard driver. Definitely loves to really fight in these moves. This is a race built for him right now at this stage of the race, and if he can close in another 0.5 of a second, which is very, very feasible over this next lap, a lap and a half or two, Rens Thomason there in 7th is going to be back on the DRS train within absolute no time. These guys will just fall over each other, really, not really fight much. Rens Thomason, though, on those tyres, fighting very, very hard to get onto the back. He's got 19% of ERS now into the left-hander, the turns 9 and 10, but he is within a second already. That just comes to show, A, the tyres are working, and B, Rens Thomason's one hell of a driver.
Yeah, he's going to miss out on DRS on this occasion. I think we'll have to see. He's going to go through the right-hander. He certainly is. He's fine. He keeps it. He lost a bit of time there, and I think it's just because he's trying to push really hard to get within the DRS train, and he is right. It is critical that he gets in DRS of Brando right now. He's got it, so he's going to get that DRS right now, and that'll allow him to get closer, and that'll give him the opportunity to pop it into none and just hang off the back, gain the ERS and start making moves here. And the question is how quickly it's going to be done. That's a mistake, and I think that is purely because of the smoke. The smoke is getting really intense now. He's missed his braking zone.
Yeah, he has missed his braking zone indeed, and this is exactly what the guys had to face last night in Canada as well. Rens Thomason being amongst that driver as well. Out on track as Justin tries to close in on the back of the teammate of Owen in towards turn number 1. Inside line, surely not from Justin. Pulls the inside line. Oh, that's never going to work. He gets damage, I think, on the left side end plate, surely, in that as well. He still goes to the inside of Owen, but in the end, 4th position, Justin in the end. pretty much going for a move that I normally like to pull off around here, I'll be honest, because he was so audacious there, on the brakes, on the back of Owen. There was never a car's width into the right-hand return number 2. In the end, Owen there in 4th, a nice slight weave there from Owen's like, yeah, don't do that again, otherwise you'll face the wrath.
Yeah, no, I'm really starting to get concerned now with this smoke, because the smoke is getting really, really intense. Going through these next set of corners, you'll see it, especially going into the deep braking zone at the end of the big straight on the back. It's going to keep an eye out on that one. But here he comes in. Oh, again, look at the smoke being poured out from the cars. I am really concerned now about that one. TTM may consider switching again. They've got a little bit of a gap between them and Rayan at the moment. Rayan actually forcing a little bit of a gap between them and the TTM guys, which is allowing them to just stay comfortable at the moment at the front. Rayan not really pushing in this one. Owen not really pushing either, but Justin trying to defend here from Brando. Are going to be any dives down the inside line, I wonder. A little bit of a late breaker from Owen, even later from Justin. There's a collision ever so slightly somewhere in that field. I don't think it's going to cause too much damage, but again, I'm wondering if the smoke's contributing to it.
I think it was Owen into the back of Rayan there very, very slightly, but in the end, 4/10 of a second. How on earth these drivers are coping, by the way, with that smoke? Just as testament to every single one's ability out on track. No matter what the circumstances are, there is a change for second. Rayan and Ghost King are side by side into the right hand, and actually Ghost King's one wide. Ghost King is losing time rapidly through the field. Is he in AI?
He's in AI. He's in AI. I'm not sure what's happening. Oh, he's disconnected. He's disconnected from this session, and that blows this race wide open. TTM were looking so sharp for a potential 1-2, and it's gone to complete smithereens. Mustache is on his own.
And I'm going to get Ghost King, try and get him back in with the session as quick as possible. So apologies that I have to do this live on the stream, but I will try and get him in. He has just been invited in, so hopefully it's not a Wi-Fi issue. Hopefully it's just a simple disconnect. He has been invited as quick as possible, given we're commentating as well. Owen, though, now on the back of Rayan, brings him into play. If Ghost King can rejoin, very, very sharpish, he will only lose a few positions, maybe behind the likes of Belvofix and Gian. But it's really unfortunate from Ghost King. He was lagging there slightly, ever so slightly. Now, in 7th position, he's managed to rejoin the session. Whether or not that we can take control of the car is a different thing. Owen now on the back of Rayan, into the right-hand return number 14, closing. Doesn't want to go for the move, I don't think. Nobody going to go for the move. That smoke again kicks up, but that's a move from Rens Thomason, diving it to the inside line of the Italian of Brando. In the end, has it worked out for him? No, it hasn't. Brando there in 5th, Rens there in 6th, and also side by side briefly, I think Fraser and Volakongan in the back of him, but Volakongan stay out on that one. He is back in the session. He is in control of his car. He is fighting now side by side with Gatkowski in towards turn number 1. Hopefully, he's taking control of his car, and I can definitely tell with the steering that is happening right now that he looks in control, but he must be getting frame rate drops, I think, at least.
Yeah, I think he's definitely back in control, but I'm expecting frame rate drops would indicate that he might be out of this session in a second. I'm going to say here he comes into the corner, and what will not be helping the frame rate at the moment as well, again, is the smoke here, as Venom is getting into a little bit of an overtake with CPI. The Cedar Phoenix Igniter of Fraser, looking to go for the move, is blocked off down the inside line, though, as the two Shizou guys are trying to defend from this one. Ghost King going to get overtaken by Zach imminently, I think, here. Oh, losing the rear ever so slightly. That Red Bull is not comfortable. Well, critically as well, what makes it even worse for him is his AI burnt through 30% of his ERS while he was away, so he's down to 20% ERS when he rejoined the lobby. He's gained some of that back, but is he going to be able to continue racing, as again the smoking is causing people to miss the apex?
Yeah, it's in towards the middle part of the lap, really, and then through the right hander there turns number 12 and 13, where the smoke really kicks in. Rayan is trying to kick in an overdrive on the back of Mustache, trying to go for the move in towards the right hander turn number 14. Closes up, not going to be close enough. To be fair, though, Mustache doesn't really lock on the brakes as Rens again tries on the back of Brando. Makes a move. Was that a clean move, though? There was a bit of squirmaging there from the back of Brando's car. Rens there through and he's into 5th. I fear there was a slight bit of contact in that.
Yeah, slight bit of contact, but he was clean enough. Rens gets that move done. Now he's going to chase down BRT's Justin, and this is an opportunity now for ETA to earn points here. Here he comes. Is he going to get closer? On this occasion, not so often. Low mistake from Justin. Going through turn 2 has left that door wide open ever so slightly. Rens may end up going for it here. Uses hot lap. Is he going to use overtake to try and get closer? He won't on this occasion. Yeah. As Justin looks like he's just going to try and defend from this one. His Ren's going to go for it, putting himself in the wing mirrors of Justin at the moment and putting him under pressure. Owen, remember, is the guy in P3 here. No doubt they're going to swap that position with Ren's.
Yeah, Rizzo there in the chat as well mentioned about FRT Zach. He needs to get a move on. If his engineer is in the chat, Box won that before Rens to mediums and then DRS swap while the hard runners stay out. Interesting call there. Is that going to pay off though potentially for the man there down? Currently 9th position as it stands. Zach there behind Gatkowski doing a better job out on track. But these guys on the set of mediums will be thinking about coming into the pit lane sooner rather than later. They can last about 12 or 13 laps, I think, before they really sort of go off the cliff. So expect Rens Thomason potentially, if he's got a fresh set of mediums, he will definitely go on a fresh set of mediums toward the end of the race. As Owen now sets his sights and attentions on the back of Rayen, might go for the double move. He gets boxed in. He chose the wrong side. Owen to the inside line, doesn't want to go for the move. It now brings Justin into play to the inside line. Tries to get the move done there through 14. Does he get the move done? Kick Saber against the Aston Martin. Just roughly side by side. Justin does get ahead of Owen. But in the end, Owen chose the wrong side. Should have went to the inside line. Could have pulled the 2 for 1. But didn't, in the opportunity, didn't want to leave the race. So Owen has been quite smart there. But he's forfeited the position as a result for Justin.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic work that from Justin, actually. Gets tapped up the rear a couple of occasions there by Owen. You know what? Justin managed that really well. Owen, unfortunately, getting boxed in, and that just allowed Justin to find the space, get up there, get up the rear end of Rayen, and that allowed him to have the overtake done on Owen. So now 4th and 5th place. Oh, a mistake from Owen. I think it's been caught out big time by that. And surely ETA going to be telling Owen, get out of the way. Rens is on fire at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So, Crispy in the chat, what happened to Tony? He had an incident with tech further down the field on lap 1. Safety car was deployed at the end of lap 1 as a result of that. And it was pretty much from the get-go. If you rewind it back, have a look from the start. Tony Reich was absolutely sideways, just like Gatkowski was there. Just catching a ball with that. But he was sideways, coming pretty much off the line. Tech got the run them in towards turn 1. Tech got the inside line in towards turn 1. And then in the end, both of them were, there was about 3 wide, I think, through turns 2 and 3. They all collided as a result. And in the end, Tech and Tony took each other out. And in the end, at the end of one sector, both out of the races, Justin set his sights in the back of Rayen. Rayen set his sights in the back of Mustache. Nobody wants to lead here in China, which, A, may be a good thing, and B, if I was these guys, I'd get a move on, because Ghost King, 1.4 seconds. These guys have got to keep these guys out in the second group, outside of a second. Otherwise, Ghost King, Gatkowski, Zach, easy back within the DRS train, bring another 5 drivers with them, and then it brings them into play potentially for podium in a race win.
If I were Justin, I'd throw a spanner in the works here and get the move done on Rayen, actually, and put a bit of pressure on Mustache. I know that they're saying, well, no one wants to overtake him at the moment. Well, if no one wants to overtake you, might as well take P1 then, because no one's going to overtake you then, is it? Surely that's the case. So if I were Justin, I'd just go for it. Why not? Let's see what happens. But either way, he's going to hook him behind. He's doing a very cautious thing here is Justin. What he's doing is he's letting them get ahead of them in the corners, and then he'll catch up to them into the braking zone. So then there's never any risk of him potentially hitting the rear end of any of the drivers in front. So you see how close he is going through the corner, and then coming out of the corner, you'll see he won't put the power down just as quick, and he'll allow the car in front to just give that space, because as soon as he goes into the next corner, he'll brake much later and then get back close again. So a very curious way of doing it, but he is sort of yo-yoing between getting close to Rayen and then leaving him the space. The question is that going to allow him to potentially go for the move going into the end of this straight? We'll see as he gets closer. DRS, of course, available for the BRT man, but it's also available for TF10 Rayen. Is he going to go for the move? He certainly will be. Is he going for the double? He's certainly putting him under pressure, and I think he's trying to play mind games with the pair of them here. Goes for the switchback, but again, he will hold on to P3, and Rens is still not been allowed to overtake Owen, by the way.
But look what has happened in behind. Exactly what I feared would happen has now happened. Everyone's now back in that DRS train all the way down to P12. So in the end, Justin's... I'm going to try and frame it in a way that's not really harmful to him. He's being very cautious, is what I'll say, in terms of going for the move. Same with Rayen, to be fair. But this has now let Brando, Gatkowski, Ghost King, Zach, Volokong and Fraser Venom, who were outside of a second 2 laps ago, now within that second, and now within that DRS train. So that now brings them directly into play for a potential podium, potential race win. But at this moment in time, Rayen and Justin's intentions are absolutely clear. They do not want to lead this race. They will only lead the race if they get forced into it. And in the end, they do everything in their power not to go for the lead of the race, which is a polar opposite to what normally happens in Formula 1, where we get a lot of overtaking going on, we normally get a lot of battling going on, and in the end, it's all about team tactics and whatnot in team events. But Mustache leads the way, Rayen in second, Justin in third. If I was these guys, though, I'd personally go for the moves as there was a mistake, I think, from Rens Thomason in the back.
Yeah, Rens Thomason's starting to suffer a little bit here from the dirty air, I think, of his teammate in front. Justin may go for the move once again. He's into hot lap mode. Is he going into overtake? He's not. Again, he lets off the power, goes alongside, then tucks in behind.
Brando!
So I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. As Brando goes for the big dive bomb on both of the ET8 drivers, and Brando has just said, stuff this, I've had enough of waiting for people to do something. I'm going to make the move instead, as Zach has left the session as well. We'll try and get him back in as quickly as possibly can. Owen separates him, but Renz gets the move back again. Nice. Brando is sick and tired of waiting, but he has to try and do that one again.
Yeah, good racing indeed there, I've got to say, from Renz and Brando. Renz, to be fair, his tyres are now beginning to go off the cliff. Zach's obviously dropping down the field. Hopefully he'll get back in very soon indeed. I can't invite him because of obvious cross-play issues from PlayStation Invite and Xbox, so Jota will be in charge of that one. Renz Thomason there in fifth. Under pressure, though, Gatkowski on the back of Brando. He forced him into a slight mistake there, but Brando there stays in sixth. Gatkowski there in seventh. Mustache still leading the way. Rayen in second. Justin there currently in third position. Even saying in the chat, how's that Justin's fault? They are back within DRS. They're all back within DRS range, which is really good. But in the end, Rayen and Justin were being a little bit cautious, I think, in not going for the moves. It's evident to me they do not want to lead this race. They want to play the team tactic game right up until the pit stops. But somewhere in your brain, as Rayen, for example, as there's a mistake from Mustache, now that's the perfect example of why you should go for a move. Mustache looks weak now. Rayen and Justin have got to counteract that and got to try and go for the move running down the straight. Justin has got much better overtaking. Now on the back of Rayen, looks to try and pull alongside. Is he going to do the same as he's done the last 3 laps? No, makes it 3 right. 3 and towards turn number 1. Finally, they make it now in towards 10-14. Justin and Rayen just about get the move done. There's a little bit of frame rate drop, but Justin now leads. Rayen in second, Mustache there in third. That was the cue. Mustache's mistake brings Justin and Rayen to play. But now, they're under pressure because Rens Thomason's in the pits, Ghost King's in the pits, and they're the ones that's going to be gaining big time.
We know that what Renz is like as well on a fresh set of tyres. We saw it earlier on in this race. We're going to see it again when he gets onto what should be another set of medium tyres that are waiting for him here. We've just got Zach back in the lobby now. He'll be rejoining with his 13-lap-old medium tyres. Though Rayen, Justin now leading this race. They were switching around, deciding when are we going to do it. They've decided this is going to be the one. Are they now going to power their way around this circuit and get onto a set of medium tyres? Or are they going to go a little bit longer, I wonder? Owen, by the way, after all of this one, is the only driver, and between the two of them, he's the one that hasn't pitted yet. Meanwhile, Rens Thomason has now pitted twice, so he's going to be making some real inroads. And if Rens Thomason gets onto the podium, he doesn't just deserve driver of the day, he'll be one hell of a drive, perhaps a consideration for driver of the season. He's having an absolute stonker of a race weekend this weekend. As Rens is brilliant.
Yep, it's good. No, it's good for him now. Longer term in the race, though, when everyone decides to pit in, the longer they leave it, the shorter they will be on that sort of medium compounder tyres. My theory is Rens Thomason will be chomped up at the pit by everyone else in behind when they decide to come in the pit lane. Rayen goes for the move on Justin for the race lead in towards turn number 14, not turn number 1 as I said last time around. Rayen in towards the right hand of 14 gets the job done into that corner and gets the job done now ahead of Justin there in second. Mustache there in third. Is there anybody coming in the pit lane? Yes, Rayen is in. Justin in. Mustache in. Owen in. Brandon nearly into the back of him in towards the apex there, the final corner, and into the pit lane. And that is...
Whoa!
Was that a polystyrene board or foot wing damage flying off Owen's car?
That was polystyrene because Owen broke far later than the Red Bull did, and I think that's just purely, again, because of the tyre smoke. No one knew where their cars were, so that's going to be something to curiously watch until that one gets fixed. I'm keeping a firm eye on Rens Thomason, who's also in this battle as well, alongside TTM Ghost King, who got the move done, by the way. So Ghost King now back in front, and they have managed to get the undercut to work an absolute treat in front of Rayen and Justin. But Rens Thomason, as I said, lost the position to Ghost King on the outlap, and as a result of that one, Ghost King, despite the fact that he has disconnected, is in an arguable position to say that it is definitely going to be first place, net first place at the moment.
And TTM, honestly, by the end of this race, if Ghost King wins, I think I'll be getting made an honorary TTM member, I think, by inviting him back in the session. He's there in P1, a net P1 right now. Ren's there in a net P2, Rayen in a net P3. They've got the track advantage. My fear is, though, those mediums fresher and behind, Rayen and Justin, if they can gap Mustache out for a second, that's going to leave Ghost King completely vulnerable just into the back of Rayen, in toward the right-hander there, the left-hander even of 11, now to the right-handers 12 and 13. Rayen is trying to hunt down the back of Ren's trying to hunt down the back of Ghost King, but again, we're going to get a carbon copy what we saw just a couple of laps ago. Everyone's going to be playing, literally, for the track position and not leading the race. Ren Thomason, though, says, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go for the move in toward the right-hander, turn number 14. Job done for Ren's, he's ahead of Ghost King out on track, Volakongan and Fraser, the next to respond to come in the pit lane. It's about a 19-second pit loss. Expect Volakongan and Fraser to be miles behind this pack.
Remember, Guillen is trying to go to the end of this race. He did pit for a set of medium tyres under the safety car. He then came back into the pits and pitted for a set of hards. So Guillen is actually racing with Ren's and TTM's Ghost King at the moment, unless they may be making that pit stop. I don't think they are. I think they are trying to get Guillen to the end of this race on that hard tyre, and he's not looking comfortable. He's actually lost about a second on the last lap to Ren's at the moment, who's now got the fastest lap of this race. Nassim and Belbelbe on a set of hard tyres that they started on. Did they pit under the safety car? Because that should say 16 of 17. So
yes, they did.
Are they potentially going to the end? So right, okay, so they started on those tyres, is that right?
Yes, they have. They've made one stop already. Everyone in the field has made at least one stop.
All right, so theoretically speaking, Nassim and Belbelbe, I think they must have started on the medium then, so they could theoretically go to the end as well. So I think this is it now. This is what we're now going to be seeing to the end of this race, unless Guillen, Nassim and Belbelbe decide this one stop was a bad idea.
And at the minute, it's all up to Ren Thomason to try and bring this gap down. 1.4 seconds, he's under pressure from Ghost King. Ghost King to the inside line through 13. Really rare, you see an overtake, I think, going through that part of the track, and Ren Thomason now is literally half alongside, now near enough 3/4 alongside, but he's out on the slipstream, gives Justin now a really good chance, and Rayen a really good chance to try and close in and behind as well. Ghost King though, Ren's really cuts off Rayen at the pass, Justin to the inside line. It's going to get pretty tight on the exit, but Justin gets the move done. It's pretty clean in the end from the kick Sauber. He gets ahead. Guillen's a rolling roadblock though in front. Ghost King now idles past the right hand, through the left hand of 16, down in towards turn number 1. Ghost King there in third, Guillen there in fourth, Ren Thomason in fifth. Ren's needs this move, gets the move. Guillen's got front wing damage right to left plate.
Oh, that's disappointing. He's obviously trying to go the distance, isn't he? But he's now going to be basically a rolling roadblock, as you mentioned, and he's drifting around the corner on these hard tyres, so he's now going to have to pit stop. And TRT tried to gamble. It wasn't going to work on this occasion. Justin getting super close to Ren Thomason. Oh, look at the tyre smoke. It's absolutely horrendous. It's only going to get worse with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, Finn Bob saying, yeah, this is going to be chaos. It's going to be like console tier 2 around here. Let's just face it. Belbelbe leads the way, Nassim in second, Ghost King in third, Ren Thomason there in fourth, Justin there in fifth. At this moment in time, I've got to argue Justin is looking pretty quick right now for BRT. You called him the slowest driver for BRT, knowing that Tech was out of the race. He's currently the quickest man for BRT out on track, and the only man for BRT out on track right now, but he's there in fifth. And 75% of EOS compared to Ren's on 49, Ghost King on 57, going to send him a long way. He's going to get maybe the move done in toward the right hand of 14 here, right down the bottom end of the straight. He is going to close in on the back of Ren's. He holds off slightly, tries to go for the move. He knows that I'm on board with him now, so he has to try and go for something. Ren Thomason, though, goes for the back of Ghost King, and Justin, smart in the background, tries the up and under through both of them, to the inside line through 14. Now side by side, it's 3-1 instead of 15 and 16. Ghost King comes out on top, just about. Ren Thomason there in behind. There's a little bit of black tyre smoke, I think, being kicked up there from the tarmac. Now running down towards turn 1. Ren's again alongside Ghost King. It's whether or not, though, you want to go for the overtake at this point of the race. Justin tries again the up and under. There's the gap to the line. Gap is there, doesn't want to go for the move though, or does he? He's got ahead of Ren's. Is he going to get ahead now of Ghost King? Round the outside through turn number 4. Now through the kink of turn number 5. Justin again, banging wheels. Literally, the BRT man to the inside on the TTM man. The TTM man tries to hold off, and I think he will going in through the corner. No, he doesn't. They're side by side. Coming out of turn number 6. Brilliant move by Gilson. Round the outside. That is how you pull off. But he's got a rolling roadblock ahead in Nassim. All of this progress is going to be done.
Absolutely fabulous from Justin. I said he was the second driver in this team, and he's a rolling robot. Look at him being pushed around the circuit to try and get that move done. He's surely going to have to just go for it. He's going to have to hold on. It's so late on the brakes. The tyres are absolutely shredded at the moment for Nassim. It's going to be a switchback. He's got the DRS, though, as Justin has managed to save as much time as he can. Ghost King's done exactly the same thing. Renz is also going to do the same thing as well. Justin has had an absolute blinder of a 19th lap. This has been brilliant for him.
Here comes Renz on the back of Nassim and on the back of Ghost King as well. It's all kicked off all of a sudden. I'm only on lap 19 out of 28. Renz tries to go around the outside through 14. Now on the back of Ghost King. Surely going to get the move done. Go on, my son. To the inside line through 15. Now to the left-hander now, turn number 16. Job done for Renz Thomason. Bit of a lag spike, but I think it was actually Ghost King backing off through the corner. And Rayen now all of a sudden is on the front foot. And the French Algerian now pulls alongside of the Frenchman. Round the outside through turn number 1. Job done for Rayen. Beautiful move by the RB man. This race has just screamed alive. Belby leads the way, 6.5 seconds. Justin there in second, Renz Thomason in third. This race, honestly, continue like this, could be a race of the season candidate. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant so far. Everyone doing the best they can to try and hold on, considering the tyres smoke at the moment, but it is starting to become undrivable, and I think it's going to end up resulting in some errors as Malakongan getting into a little bit of a scrap with Nassim. Remember, Nassim on the old hard tyre. He's tried to go the distance, but it's not going to work. He's going to have to pit for a soft tyre and try towards the end of this race and just try and go for fastest lap here at this rate. Surely Venom is going to go down the inside line. Exactly, gets all that space. Look how much grip everyone has got. The mechanical grip is so much more powerful now with that 18-lap old hard tyre, which has just completely fallen off a cliff. Belbe is jamming to even be holding on to at least a 1 second loss through the first couple of sectors here. So I think he's got, if he loses around about a second a lap, he'll be able to at least hold on to potentially P6, P7 at the end of this, but the tyres are shredded.
Tyres are shredded indeed. Renz Thomason on the back of Justin. Is he going to attempt the move down in towards turn number 14? No. The answer is a firm, big capitals, N-O spells no. For Renz Thomason in toward the right hand number 14. Doesn't get the move done. Ghost King, though, on the back of Rayen. Just trying to look. Thank God it's gone a little bit calm, because we're getting there in the chat. Whoever commentating is super good. That's myself, James Head, and Jota alongside me. Tropic should know that. He was in the same team as me once upon a time. In RLS, Belby leads the way. Justin in second, Renz Thomason in third. Back to your point, though, that you were making there, Jota. Belby, 4.5 seconds now the gap. Gap was 5.4 at the top end of the straight through 13. And that gap has now come down, what, visibly? 1.3, 1.4 seconds? Belby will not last to the end of the race in front. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, he's going to try and maintain around about 1 second loss. He's not going to hold on to the race victory, but maintaining around a 1 second loss will allow him to fall maybe as far as P6, P7 and take at least a good points haul for Versio. The issue that he's got is the fact that it's not going to be a maintained 1 second gap because those tyres are shredded and they're falling off a cliff. He's going to lose time much more rapidly with every passing lap. Gap is now around about 1.2 seconds of a loss over the last couple of sectors, so he is losing around about 2/10 with every lap that he's doing extra on top of the 1 second that he needs to hold on to. So Belby is going to end up in trouble, and he's going to end up in an overtaking scenario with Justin, I suspect, within the next 3, maybe 2 laps.
IJ there in the chat saying, James, don't forget to drink some water after these laps. I've got about half a bottle alongside me. They're needed for the final 7 laps of this race. That is for sure. Renz again, hunting on the back of Justin. Doesn't want to go for the move. Mustache was eyeing up maybe the back of his teammate in toward the right-hander there at 14. Doesn't pull it off. But everyone now calm before the storm, is I think how we're going to call it now in commentary. It's now calm all of a sudden. Renz Thomason there on the back of Justin. Nobody really wants to get the move done, I think, at this point of the race, apart from Ghost King, who is eyeing up the back of Rayen. Around the outside of turn number 1. He's off camber. Might go for the outside of turn number 2. If he pulls this off, he's brilliant. Goes to the inside line now. Will get the inside for 3. Gets the apex. Gets nearly half a car length ahead. Beautiful move by Ghost King. If he can pull it off, get the full car length ahead, he does. Ghost King as soon as he's into 4th. Marvellous racing. Given the trials and tribulations that they're facing with that smoke going in towards turn number 6, the racing is making up for it in tenfold. This is why PlayStation and Xbox are so clear of PC.
Yeah, I mean, there's really, really good racing between him at the moment. Ghost King trying his hardest at the moment to get those moves done despite the DRS trains at the moment. Remember, Ghost King disconnected from this race earlier on as well. So this is a real return to form for TTM as well. They need these points, and they certainly would love a podium. As it stands at the moment, I think Ghost King is certainly eyeing up a potential podium here. He's definitely on the podium, assuming that the Bell Belby move gets done imminently.
Yep, and Bell Belby is going to be more like Bell Bye, I think, while this field comes up. That's harsh. Rens Thomason on the back of Justin. Gets the move done, though, down the straight. Slight lag back there from the BRT man, but he has got the job done. Slight lag again, kicking in for Ghost King to the inside on there at 14. Doesn't get the move done on the back of Justin. But Bell Belby, soon going to be Bell Bye, because Bell Belby is now hanging on. And honestly, it's a real tongue twister trying to get that out in with how quick I speak. Bell Belby leads the way. A second the gap over Rens Thomason. He is there on sufferance, the EVE man. I will argue he is there defending that position. He is allowed to be there no matter what. He doesn't want to simply just pull to one side, let all of these cars through, and that's done with it. Bell Belby wants to try and prove himself to EVE, wants to try and prove himself to you guys at home, but in the end, Bell Belby is there in first position, leading the way, and he's there on sufferance, as I say, and that lock-up from Rens Thomason brings Bell Belby just a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah, a little bit more breathing room, but you think you're right. As NSYNC says, Bell Belby will be bye in a few short moments, I think. But the thing is like NSYNC as well, who's going to be the person that's going to say it's going to be me on top of that start, the top podium?
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's just awful. You know what? I'm just going to step away from that just to pretend I never said it. Now, Rens Thomason is definitely going to be up there. I think that is almost a fact at this point. Justin has had a blinder of a race, and he deserves every little bit of credit that is going to be coming his way, because I'd said he was a second driver. He was a person towards the back. But this is what I said about Justin. His race pace brings him closer and closer to his co-compatriot. His co-compatriot, though, crashed out on lap 1. So he's had to be the reliant one, and he's been there. There goes the move. Rens Thomason gets the move done on Bell Belby. Justin gets the move done. Ghost King gets the move done. Bell Belby tries to go around the outside line. He's not going to defend it on this occasion. Ghost King is not going to go for any moves here as the 3 get the move done. Rayen, though, was not able to get the move done, and he now has to hang on and lose a little bit of time to the front 3.
Yeah, the only thing, though, that EVE, by the way, have got a little bit in common with NSYNC is they are literally in sync. Right now, 14th position, losing time through the field as well. Bell Belby now under pressure from the back of Mustache around the outside through turn number 2. Carbon copy of Ghost King's move, albeit I know he's on much fresher tyres, but that's a lovely move from Mustache. Gets the move done. Owen now sideways coming out of turn number 3, through turn number 4, now through the kink of 5, in towards the right-hander at turn number 6. Has got to go for this move, got to go for the lunge. You've got to try and risk it for a chocolate biscuit. He risked it too much. Real locks on the end. Bell Belby brought a little bit of breathing room again, but Owen on the back has got to go for the move. Do you know what? Even I would risk it coming through turn number 7 at this point if he had the speed and if he had the cornering. Coming through here, even I would risk it.
Oh,
and there we go. Owen, I thought he was going to go for the absolute lunge of a century, but he doesn't in the end. Bell Roberts picks up a 3-second penalty further down the field. Owen, though, patience rewarded and towards turn number 11. Not quite. He's still on the back of Bell Belby. But this, crucially, Jota, is costing each 8 points, CPI points, Team Chazoo points. Who does that benefit? BRT.
BRT, yeah, exactly. Justin actually in the best case scenario here as he tries to potentially make a move on Rens Thomason. The best case scenario for him would be to actually take the race victory tonight. There goes Owen finally against Bell Belby in this one. Now up to 6th place. Gatkowski also gets the move done on Bell Belby as well, but won't go for any moves against Owen on this one. Valakongan now trying to get that move done as well towards the front. However, the front 3 stay within formation. Rayen has caught up to the back of them, and Mustache also wants to get in there as well. 3-4 result for TTM would be magnificent. They're going to be the big points haulers out of this race as it stands so far. 3 laps to go.
Massively wide in the background, by the way, was Brando coming through the right-hander, the left-hander there at turn number 16. Completely wide of the apex through the corner. Might have picked up a warning for that. He's off the spack by 1.2 seconds. Bell Belby, though, could bring Venom into play. Brando there's then back within a second of this front train as Rayen looks on the back of Ghost King, doesn't go for the move. Rens, though, leading the way. Justin in second, Ghost King in third. 3.5 laps to go in this race. Rayen in fourth, Mustache, Owen, Gatkowski, Volakungan, Venom and Bell Belby. Currently a roll call for the top 10, but it's Brando, Fraser, Zach, Nassim, Gavroche top 15, Skies, Gian, and then Bell Ruffix. They're down in 18th position on that fresh set of soft compound tyres, looking to try and sneak that fastest lap point potentially off one of the drivers ahead. Speaking of which, literally in sync. He goes fastest lap of the race, 31.8. But does Gian try and respond, come into the pit lane, go for a set of soft compound tyres? So there's that to play with. Rens Thomason, though, at this moment in time, leading the way, 90% of ERS. And for the first time, I've got to say, Rens Thomason's dragging out the field like he did in the sprint. He hasn't got his teammate for company this time around. Rens Thomason is a good enough driver to try and drag out the field, and if I was in his shoes right now, I'd be trying to drag out the field like I did in my race win around here in League of Europe.
And the thing is, though, is that all of these drivers are going to have to get into a really close proximity. And when you've got smoke that is as thick as a Friday night in Jamaica, it's going to be so difficult to see exactly where you're going. And you can see, look at all that smoke being kicked up off that right-hand side. That's just dust off the line as people are just splashing it in people's faces at the moment. 2 laps to go, and they're so close. It's like just an inch, and you could end up spinning someone out. When you're completely blinded by that, that is so critical. These drivers are on the absolute limit, and they can't see. That's bonkers. 2 laps to go.
Yep, it's bonkers, but it also comes to show how good they are in terms of driving. Was that a bit of carbon fibre being kicked up from Ghost King's car? Right on end plate, potentially? It was definitely wheel-to-wheel contact. I'm not sure if it was just front wing on the rear wheel or if it was just tyre on tyre. I think it might have been tyre on tyre in the end because Ghost King is up to full speed still. Not obviously got any damage, it seems, but he's there in third on the back of Justin. Rens Thomason leading the way. This is going to be critical. Potentially for the championship, potentially for how this is going to go. A Friday night in Jamaica being talked up there in the chat as well. Hopefully these drivers might get some Jamaican Deacan afterwards. But Rens Thomason leads the way. Justin in second. Ghost King in third. Ghost King on the back of Justin. Running down the straight in toward the right-hander of 14. Never going to pull this one off. And I'm going to say I'm never, ever going to do that again.
Oh, later on the brakes, though, around the outside line. Trying to defend from it at the moment is Justin, whilst also trying to put a semi-attack on Rens Thomason. Doesn't get the best exit, does Rens either, actually. Starting the 27th lap of this one here. So this, again, I'm expecting everyone to just be within close proximity and not go for any kind of move on this particular lap. I reckon the next lap is where it starts to get quite feisty as everyone is now into ERS mode none. So they can harvest as much electrical energy and have as much power down the line. Oh my goodness me, as Rayen and TTM getting into a bit of a battle. Ghost King and Mustache have got the move done on Rayen. That was a bit aggressive from TTM. They both want to get that done, and they both do get it done. Here comes Owen as well around the outside line of this corner.
Never going to
work.
So
late to the grass was never going to work, and that's allowed Gatkowski and Volakongan through.
Oh,
and now it's a collision. Oh, Gatkowski once again squeezing people off of the circuit. He's been so aggressive tonight. There's going to be some learnings taken from that McLaren Cedar Phoenix Igniter.
And definitely, Owen has got a rightful report there because he was forced off track there only by Gatkowski, but he was also forced off, I think it was by Rayen and all of that as well. So he's down in 8th position. Could be 2 reports coming in there, I think, from an E-Tape perspective. But speaking of an E-Tape perspective, that's Belloff's coming in the pit lane. Leading the way is Rens Thomason, 5.5 tenths, trying to again drag out any amount of gap that he can get going on to the final lap of the race. But what this is going to come down to is the final lap of the race. Justin there in second, Ghost King in third, Mustache in fourth, Volakonga now on the back of Rayen, looking to the outside line. Oh, I thought he was going to go on the back. He has gone on the back of the Red Bulls, and both TTMs nearly around. Mustache is round, certainly third there position for him. Rayen in fourth, Ghost King certainly sent round. He's down there in 6th position, trying to fend off attentions off the back of Volakongan. All of that was from Volakongan breaking up late, Rayen breaking late slightly. Final lap we go. Rens Thomason leading the way. Justin there in second, Mustache there in third, Rayen in fourth, Ghost King, Volakongan, Gatkowski side by side. Now through the right-hander at turn number 2, trying to get the move done there through turn number 3. Don't think the McLaren's going to pull that one off. He doesn't. Volakongan stays there in 6th position. Oh, and again sideways, and Gatkowski and Owens on the wall. Both of them are out of the race. What on earth happened there? Camera angle didn't really do it justice. Both of them are out of the race, though. Pick your ideas out of that one. Ghost King leads the way. Rens Thomason even leads the way. Justin in second. Mustache there in third. But Gatkowski and Owen both out of the race. What on earth happened there? Rens Thomason, though, leading the way at this moment in time. Now through the left-hander turns 9 and 10 for the final time. Can he drag out Justin enough? Can he drag out that gap enough to hold on? 5.5 tenths of a second. This is where Justin is weakest. This is where Rens Thomason is so bloody good round this track. Now through the right-hander at turn number 12. Now through the right-hander again at turn number 13. Slide, though, brings Justin a 10th closer. And that's enough to get him back within DRS range and also get the attack on down in towards the right-hander now at 14. Rens Thomason weaving down the straight, trying to break the toe absolutely desperately. It's going to be a late lunge. Send it and lick the stamp from Justin on the outside line on the back of Rens. leads, goes around the outside, Scandinavian flicks it through 15, tries to get the move done, now through the kink of 15, into the left-hand return number 16, Rens Thomason surely hanging on here for ETA, Justin absolutely flying at the final corner, it's too late, Rens Thomason takes the race win, a tenth of a second over Justin, Mustache there in third, Rianne in fourth, Ghost King there in fifth. Pick your ideas out of that final lap of the race, but give him where credit is due. Nobody deserves to win this race more than Rens Thomason tonight, because that was the only one of the drives of this season, maybe one of the drives of Legacy Division of all time. And Josh is on mute, I think. Or he's gone.
No, I'm here. I just put myself on mute, didn't I? Because I was screaming throughout that final lap. Rens Thomason deserved of that particular race victory, because he's been absolutely immaculate throughout this entire race weekend. He was unlucky not to get the sprint race victory, to be fair, but in the end, it's a double race victory for ET.
Can you hear me? Oh, there we are. OBS is back. I might be back. Apologies about that. It's a good job.
Back.
It's a good job it happened at the end of the race and at the end of the, on the down lap there from everyone else. But we are back. Apologies about that slight disconnection. That's what 2.5 hours of streaming nearly gets you to your laptop. But it is Rens Thomason who does take the race win out on track. A phenomenal drive from his perspective. And in the end, he absolutely deserves it. And do you know what? He has just sent himself right up until the top end of the podium and top end. And I think from that race that Rens Thomason has just done, ET8 are back. Can Jota hear me now?
Loud and clear. I think I just disconnected there. I think it was a bit of a weird one. I don't know what happened, but you know, look, the bottom line is, what a hell of a race that was. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by Rens Thomason's performance. He deserves everything on that one. He started ninth, finishes first. VRT Justin started 11th, finishes second. Absolutely deserves everything that was thrown at him. TTM have earned big time off the back of this. Shazoo have done decent to get 6th and 7th, but they're going to lose positions as well. Despite the fact it was a great effort from ETA and for BRT, TTM are going to close down the gap in the midfield towards the front runners. And once again, the top 6 in the championship standings are getting squished.
Yep, getting squished indeed. Rens Thomason, though, took the race win. Justin in second, Mustache there in third. Rianne, Ghost King, Volokong, Venom, Belbelby, Fraser, Zach top 10, the Nassim, Skies, Gavosh, Gian, and Belrophic's top 15. I think Brando is somewhere in amongst that. He disconnected from the session, however, so therefore he is somewhere in amongst that pack. I'm not sure where on the timings he might be, but he certainly is there within the podium. I think he finished 11th, if I'm not mistaken. So Brando in 11th, then Nassim, Gavroche, Skies, Gian, and then Belrophix, the 16 drivers that competed in that race. But Rens took that race win. Justin in second, Mustache in third. We bigged it up at the start, Jota, by saying it was a French 1-2-3. In the end up, we've had a total reverse and it's a Dutch 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely astonishing performance from the get-go, isn't it, though? I mean, I'm so astounded by I've still just taken a minute to appreciate Rens. He's had a fantastic race this weekend, so he deserves everything that gets thrown at him from the ET8 guys. Shame about his teammate being off the pace, of course, after that collision with Gatkowski. He was absolutely fuming as well. I'm not going to repeat the words that he's saying because I think they're not even appropriate for this Discord server, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, it's a fairly decent result for ET8. But the best result of the night goes to TTM. They needed those points. They needed that performance. They've now got a big chunk of points. That's the kind of momentum they need moving forward into the next race weekend.
And the next race weekend, looking on the calendar, is in Spain. And that is going to be a very interesting one. And I will let you into a little bit of a secret. Who won around there in EML on a Wednesday night in Spain this season? Rens Thomason. So, potentially, could it be an ET8 at least 1-2 once again, a P1 once again within the feature race? Or will it be somebody different? Or will it just be ET8 trying to dominate once again within the standings coming into Spain? This is their string of races that are coming up, actually, that are very good for the team. Spain, Imola, Azerbaijan, we can probably forget about that. And then the Netherlands, very strong around there. So, Spain next week. Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia, of course, many in our thoughts with what's happening in Valencia at the former track, of course, in recent weeks with the flooding and everything going on there in Spain right now. We are thinking of you, all of you Spaniards that are out there. But round 9 of the championship goes to Spain next week How do we think everyone's going to behave out on track, and who do we think is going to try and take the race win?
I'm not even going to try and put any bets on that one because what's the point? It's just an absolutely astonishing season that's just sort of had many twists and turns, and I just can't quite grasp where we're heading to. We've got Spain next week, as you said. We've got Imola, then Azerbaijan, another sprint race in 3 weeks' time. Then we're at the Netherlands. So Spain usually is the moderate track, isn't it? It's got your high, your mid, and your low speed corners. So this is where we'll start to see the all-round drivers, the drivers that you would expect to just be decent at a variety of tracks and not be really specialising in anything. Spain is probably going to be one of their stronger circuits, so that may be a bit more of a break week for the faster drivers, and we may start to see some more junior drivers stepping into that one. Imola, though, in a couple of weeks' time, oh, that's going to be spicy.
2 days before my birthday as well for Imola in 2 weeks' time, but of course we go to Spain. It's a really good string of races, I think, towards the end of the season before we get, of course, that festive break on the 17th of December. After the Netherlands, of course, we go festive break, and then we're back in Brazil, straight back at it after the New Year. Brazil, always a good race, I think, to have in. I personally would have preferred it end of the season, but Sao Paulo in round 13, unlucky for some. Whether or not it is unlucky for some within the season that progresses through remains to be seen. But I don't think we're going to get any interviews. My voice is certainly not cut out for interviews after that race, because that was an absolute thriller. But what we will do, of course, is remind you of what is to come going forward here in WOR. And I hope, actually, because I didn't check this, I hope I've got both graphics, which I do. Thank goodness for that. WOR Console Tier 1 and Tier 2, of course, live along with other console tiers coming up. And we go to Singapore. Singapore, always a good race around there. We saw it earlier on in the Legacy Division. Round 3 of the Championship on November the 14th and 15th. So this Thursday and Friday upcoming, Singapore for the console guys. And the PC guys started off, of course, last night in the United States. They go to Singapore in a week's time on Monday night as well. I believe PC F1 is already done. Brendan Lee, crowned champion there, so congratulations to him on that podium, on that result. And I think Kick Sauber wrapping up these standings as well in a real dominant fashion in the end within WOR PC Tier 1. But we're going to round it off here, Jota. Any final thoughts from that race and what is to come in Spain next week?
No, we can only hope that the strepsils that we take actually help us out, because it's going to obviously be another one. But the thing is, what I'm worried about, again, is that tyre smoke. Is it going to get any worse, I wonder?
At Spain, probably yes, judging by how many corners there are taken and how on earth it is all going to happen. But you will have to tune in next week, find out what happens next week in Spain. Whether or not we get the tyre smoke fixed between now and then is a different thing. But thank you so much for watching tonight. We're going to leave you in the capable hands of our sponsors, Gridfinder and Next Level Racing. Thank you so much for watching WOR Legacy Division. And until next week in Spain, goodbye.